Hello, Tyson.
How are you, man?
I'm good, buddy. I'm really good. How's your week been?
Do you know what?
Yeah?
It's been all right.
Really? Oh, nice.
It's fine. It's just fine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm happy about?
What are you happy about?
We're back, baby.
We're back.
We're podcasting.
Doing this? I know. It's
doing what I
nice.
love. 2 hours of a week.
It's fun.
Chatting about fucking movies
Wipes
and
the
shit.
sleep out of his eyes. That's
been a long day.
It's all right.
Well, welcome, listeners, to another episode of Tys and Videotape.
Yeah.
Your weekly podcast for all things...
Funsies. All things
all
movies.
things funsies.
Yeah, all things funsies and movies.
And movies.
Yeah.
And other E's.
Yeah.
How you doing, Nick?
I'm pretty good. We've got a good one this week,
We do have a
Tys,
good
do you
one.
think?
We're talking 1994's Speed. I'm pretty pumped to talk about this.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun. But before we do anything...
Let me talk at you, people. Let me tell you things. For starters, if you haven't reviewed or liked us yet, I think you should do that. I think you should. We'd love it if
rate
you
and
did.
review on iTunes.
On iTunes.
Just click those stars, baby.
Just click them. It takes 2
Click
seconds.
5 of them, though. don't click any other way.
Don't click any other way.
Don't
That's
click
a
a
bit
3
harsh.
and be like, oh, they're okay.
They're right.
I'm not really up for that.
They're not. I'm not really up for that. That's hilarious. So yes, on iTunes, people, we'd very much adore if you did that. Also, if you want to join in the fun on Facebook or on Twitter.
Yes, and that's everything, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's all the things.
But yeah, join us, people. Tell your friends.
Please push that subscribe button,
Yep.
push that like button, and push that rate button.
Absolutely.
Push them all.
Push them all. Push all the buttons.
Push the buttons.
Yeah.
We got some news this week, Nick.
We have a news. Should we? I'd like a news section.
Yeah, I think
when it comes up
every now and then we're going to talk news.
Yeah.
And so
because
for
this is kind of big.
it is big news. It's a big week for cinema fans.
It is.
And so we're going to introduce a new segment
Called. We don't have a segment. We're named
called
for
news.
it. It's called news. But you have to say it like that.
News. So
News.
we might have had a theme song then, depending how busy I am.
Sure.
Or we might just be going straight into
Straight into it. Fair enough.
So it's been Comic-Con. San Diego Comic-Con.
Diego.
It's
San Diego. That was terrible. Cut
so
that
it's
out.
look, it's a very exciting time for movie fans. We get a
Massive.
lot of news, a lot of new trailers,
It's where
a
they
lot
drop
of
a
really
lot of
exciting.
things.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like lots of exciting stuff. So let's just discuss. There's one piece of news I specifically want to discuss.
Oh, go on.
And that is all I want to discuss in the news.
Sure.
Because the rest of it, people have Googled this shit. They've been reading it. It's all very exciting.
It's on your Facebook.
And a lot
You
of it
would
will
have
come up
seen
when
it.
we talk our trailers very
That's
shortly.
true. That's true.
The one piece of news I want to talk about.
Go on.
So we heard there was an extreme tragedy that occurred.
Yes, there was.
Probably about a month ago now. Oh no, it was longer, but I think the news broke about
The
a month
news
ago.
broke it.
So Zack Snyder unfortunately had a very horrific death in the family.
Yep.
And it meant that he
Had to step away.
He had to step away from Justice League.
Justice
The
League,
Justice
which is
League
totally
movie.
understandable.
Totally understandable, and what an absolute fucking kick in the balls.
Tragic.
And I cannot say how horrible that is. And so he unfortunately
So
had
he
to step
stepped
away
away
from Justice
and,
League and was replaced for
Warner Brothers replaced him with Joss Whedon.
with Joss Whedon,
which is huge.
amazing.
Yeah.
Just somebody who is so close to both of us.
Yeah. And just trusted, I feel.
And
I feel it's
very trusted,
yeah.
very trusted, in order to oversee kind of the rest of the production of Justice
Absolutely.
League.
Yeah.
Now, this is involved, apparently, according to Comic-Con, spills,
Yep.
that this has involved quite extensive reshoots now.
Yeah. And the price tag on that, Tyson, is up to... Did you...
Yeah.
It's $25 million.
So
worth of
we're not
reshoots.
talking
So
like
it's not
we
a
just need to get
small-
some over-shoulder
Yeah.
reaction shots or anything.
Yeah.
We're talking there's some legitimate differences going on.
Yeah.
Now, look, some of the words that I've been getting is that it's generally the action sequences are going to
intact?
stay
Yeah.
how they were, because
Yeah.
that was kind of what they were doing at that first anyway. It was always the big kind of sequences, get them done, and then go back and do the kind of in-between
Films,
stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So, and do you know what? I'm okay with that. Joss Whedon does fill in
He is
character interactions pretty much
he
better
does.
than anybody else.
He can juggle really well.
And we know Zack Snyder is quite adept at action direction, so maybe we're going to get a really nice blend here.
Yeah.
But this is the piece of news
Oh, go on.
that I find quite hilarious.
Yeah.
Now, these actors have unfortunately had to kind of take themselves out of other projects in order to complete these reshoots.
What they're doing, come back and do some reshoots.
Because they're contractually obligated to this. Unfortunately, sometimes, though, they've signed other contracts.
They're doing other things at the time.
They are doing other things at the time. Now, Henry Cavill.
Henry.
Who is growing on me as an actor. Not so much as Superman, but I really liked him in Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Okay.
And
I loved
when
him
I
in Man from
heard
U.N.C.L.E.
that he was going to be in the new Mission Impossible film,
Right,
I was
yep.
quite excited.
Okay.
Now, apparently, part of his contract for this Mission Impossible film,
Which is bizarre to me.
which is bizarre that this is something that was
How is this
stipulated in a
thing?
contract,
Yeah.
but he had to grow what I'm going to describe as a Magnum PI style
It is.
mustache.
Yeah. Straight out of Tom Selleck's handbook.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, this...
No, that's fine. You can
That's
grow.
fine.
That's fine.
Of course.
Sure.
If it's required for the film, they want you to have a big dirty moat.
Absolutely.
Of course.
That's fine. But he had to go back for reshoots.
He had to go back for reshoots.
And
It was part of his contract that he was not allowed to remove said mustache.
Which is... That's fucking
So,
stupid.
just to paint a picture, right... Well, maybe not right now,
Maybe
but
not right
very
now.
recently,
Yeah.
there were scenes taking place
Of
that were being filmed that had the Justice League, including Superman.
Yeah.
And Superman was running around
With a full get up.
full get up.
Red, white, red, blue, and yellow, and it's he's got a massive mustache. Could you the hilarity of that being on set and trying to deliver serious lines? Imagine if you're the villain and that I'm not taking you serious. You may be the Man of Steel, but seriously, you look like a douche.
It is my life goal to see some of this footage. I just hope.
Yeah.
Because
it has to come out.
Warner
It
Brothers,
has to.
they must have a sense of humor about certain things.
Yeah.
And I think this, if you want to endear the fans to you, that this needs to end up on the Blu-ray, because that is
gold.
It is
People will
such
buy
an
this
endearing
Blu-ray
moment
for that.
because if you say, "Hey, we've got behind the scenes
We've got
footage,
full scenes.
Henry Cavill
In the
acting
mustache.
against Ben Affleck, full get up, and he's got a big dirty Magnum PI mustache."
Fuck. That's horrible.
It would just be brilliant.
You know that there's going to
Absolutely
be
brilliant.
Halloween costumes now of Superman with
I
a mo.
hope there is. I really hope there is. And could you imagine, like, just for some, we don't know how he's reappearing, but could you imagine that if by chance he was reappearing in the black with the mullet?
With the silver mullet? That'd be...
And he had the mustache as well?
That would be bizarre.
It'd be real fucking early 90s is what I reckon it would be. Like, real bad.
It would be bad.
Like,
I don't understand
1991.
it. But I don't understand why you can't shave it. Why can't you just... We are at a day and age now where you can literally... He doesn't have to grow. It doesn't have to be his mustache.
Do you know what I think it is? Is that it's that neither one of the companies want the responsibility, because unfortunately they're different companies. I think if the Mission Impossible films were being made by Warner Brothers,
yeah.
it would be a different story.
Right.
But because they're being made by Paramount,
Right.
we're in a situation where I don't think either one of... Like, Paramount's not going to go, do you know what? We probably do have the money to digitally add a mustache.
But we want you to fucking do it.
That's $1 million that we could be spending elsewhere. So you can fucking deal with that,
Jesus
Warner
Christ.
Brothers.
That is
He signed a
horrible.
contract and he said he'd have his fucking
That's
mustache.
horrible. It's going to be gold either way.
Hot off the presses.
Hot off the presses.
That is news.
the news.
Do you have any
That
news?
is the news for Nick Tyson.
Do you have any
Videotape.
news,
No, I
Nick?
don't have any news. I don't.
love that
No.
the entirety of our news section
Was
is
a mustache.
Superman has a mustache, people.
Well, if you know Nick
Stop.
and Tys personally, you
Stop
would
the press.
understand why this is so fucking hilarious. to
It
us.
is. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Hey, but that's going to lead us perfectly into talking trailers.
Yeah.
Because we've got a fuck ton to talk about.
We do. Let's do it.
Everybody's talking
Trailers. So, Comic-Con.
Where do you want to start?
Oh, man.
This thing is huge.
Well, look, we might not have the same ones that we want to talk about, but Comic-Con is a really great opportunity for companies just to kind of give that sizzle for the upcoming things.
Yeah,
so
man.
We all know that the big guns... There's a Marvel section, although this is good because Marvel weren't there last year. I think they did most of their action at the Disney D23 Expo last year.
Yeah.
So we know, we knew Marvel coming.
D23. Fuck you, Disney.
Oh,
Seriously,
Disney, man,
owning
monopoly.
Yeah.
DC, and although Fox were relatively quiet this year, they didn't do any kind of X-Men.
No,
I think
because
they
I think they're kind of sitting on the fact that Deadpool and Logan have done so well that they just can take a break, to be honest.
Like a bit of Deadpool,
They'll get
even
there.
just something
They'll
like
get
one of
there.
his little short bits like he did where he
saved
what was that saves the dude and accidentally killed somebody.
I loved that. How good was that?
Yeah, but like you could imagine that they
maybe
would
a little
put
something
like that together. But there was nothing that they talked a lot of shit, but there was no kind of big announcements or trailers.
Yeah.
But we did get quite a few trailers. Holy shit, where should we start? Fuck. Let's talk Ready Player One.
Ready Player One?
Yeah.
Sure. Have you read this book?
No.
Neither have
I think I'm going to get it.
Yeah, I think I want to buy it too.
Because I don't think I realized what it was. I think I knew it was kind of a video game based or a virtual reality based novel.
Right.
But I didn't realize that it's
to the extent of the pop culture
references that it has.
This thing,
So this main character, so this is the new Steven Spielberg film as well, which is
this is
unreal.
But this is the only reason that this is getting made. Like, if you were to read this book and go, I'd love to see that as a film.
Which I assume that everybody would when they read it.
Of all the pop culture things that you even see in the trailer, this is just the trailer that we're talking about.
We'll get to that in a second, because it's out of control.
You have to have some clout or some money bags behind you to go, no, I want this, and this.
Well,
and of course, it's Steven Spielberg, because everyone who is going to see this man come up and go with his beautiful little voice and, his kind face and go, hi, do you mind if I pinch your icon Freddy Krueger?
Well, no one's saying no to Spielberg.
No, of course not.
I don't.
Of course not. And that's the only reason that this thing is getting getting made.
I think there comes a time where companies kind of look at it and go, "Do you know what? I don't want to be the one that said no."
Yeah.
Like, so when they hear,
because so many have said yes.
Oh, you've got them. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, you know what? Yeah, you can have them.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
fine.
Exactly.
Because it's look, we're dancing around the topic, but it's basically a virtual reality world where people can choose avatars and things, and this one kid who is a frequenter of the world is obsessed with 80s culture, pop culture.
Yep.
So we're talking about a virtual reality world where we're going to interact with, just from this trailer, we've got Freddy Krueger, we've got the DeLorean, we've got
so many shots of the DeLorean. I loved this. Oh my god! You had the Akira motorbike.
Oh, is that the Akira motorbike? That's fucking cool.
You had Batman riding a scorpion.
Was that Batman?
That was Batman.
I couldn't figure out who it was. I was like, who the fuck's riding the scorpion?
You had a big shot of Harley Quinn at the start.
Yeah, and is Deadpool in it? Or
no,
I've heard it might be Deadshot.
I think it's it's not Deadshot. It's Deathstroke.
Oh,
Deathstroke. So it's another Batman villain for those who don't know.
There's multiple kind of masked assassins in the comic book lore.
You've got ogres in there, which is just pulled from something. I don't know.
Is there Terminator related?
There was a Terminator in there. Yeah.
It kind of looked like a Terminator, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
It's just Iron Giant.
Iron Giant, which is huge.
For some reason, just fucking struts out.
Everyone's favourite giant. He's a friendly favourite giant.
He is everyone's favourite giant.
But yeah, there was so many. There was the Mad Max. I think it's called the Enforcer. Is the car in Mad Max? Yeah. So
is that his car? Like from the first one?
That's his car. Yeah, from the first and second. Yeah, you had that in there. This thing looks insane. So
I need to jump on and
I read a little bit about the story. Actually, we won't go into it. Oh, should we go into it? Yeah. So people in the real world work their guts out literally just to go into this virtual reality. So obviously the real world is just very
well. The image we got from the trailer was pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it's messed up. So people don't live their lives in the real world; they live it in this virtual world.
Sure.
So the creator of this virtual world has passed away, and he has left his billions. If you find the Easter eggs in the virtual world, you inherit his billions.
Fuck yeah.
So, of course, every man and their dog has jumped in, and whatever pop culture, once you go in, whatever pop culture reference you like, you can be.
It's insane. It sounds bonkers.
It's insane.
And I
need to read the book.
Yeah, I think I'm going to read the book.
Yeah.
I think I'm legitimately excited by the idea of seeing some of these characters interact.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
Because, I mean, it's such a great way to look at it, because you can use these characters, but in no way will it be considered to the detriment of canon.
Yeah, exactly.
You can have them do whatever the fuck they want.
Exactly.
And it's just kind of like, no, this is just part of this world.
Which is why, like, in my head, when I saw the DeLorean is flying in number 2 and then switches to driving. And in my head, I'm like, hang on a minute, okay, this is just completely different. This has got nothing to do with anything. I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah. Looks really cool. Tys Sheridan, who is come a long way.
Yeah.
He was Cyclops in Apocalypse and starred in I want to say Mud or Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Which one was it? It
I
was
think it was
Mud or Joe. One of them.
He was in one of them.
Moving on. It looks pretty good though.
It does. It looks really good.
Moving on.
And especially with Spielberg. Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Amazing.
Spielberg.
Amazing.
Like, what a get. What
I
a
know,
get.
right? Jesus. Are we doing TV, Tys?
Oh, we can talk TV.
Can we talk TV?
Yeah, go for
Are
it,
you
man.
excited for Stranger Things 2, Tyson?
Shit, yeah.
Did this trailer go nuts for you?
Yes.
Fuck. This looks amazing.
And
This looks so amazing. And you can just imagine, because the biggest thing that has changed now is that these guys have gotten the budget out their ass now.
yeah,
Like,
I
can
think
you
that
imagine
budget has
what they
been
can
like
do with that?
quadrupled.
Yeah.
Because there is some impressive looking
made
shit
some
in
cash.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm pretty stoked for this. I mean,
Go on.
it never felt like a show that was calling. I don't think they made it
In order to make...
to know that there would be a sequel. I think
Yeah.
it stands alone quite nicely
Absolutely.
by itself.
Yeah.
And it's not perfect. It's just a
Oh,
really
hell no.
really great time. It's nostalgia maybe kind of pulleys it over some of its flaws, if
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it makes some of it kind of forgivable because you're like, do you know what? I'm just really enjoying being in this world, so I can forgive
so I don't
some
mind
of it.
that didn't work.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
And do you know
That
what?
scene
But
was
if you
for
can
no
sell
reason.
that to me, that is also an exceptional showing of craft.
Absolutely.
So, like, I can.
But now's a bit different.
I can
though,
forgive
Tys.
that. Well, now I just hope that they're not playing that angle
Again.
to the back of the park. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think they got dangerously close to it being kind of. I wouldn't say no. I'm not going to say dangerously close to being excessive because it was excessive, but
Right.
it was to the point where I was still on board because I was comfortable. Like it was excessive, the throwbackness of it.
Yep.
And I just hope that they haven't crossed that line where it's no longer fun.
Yeah.
How much they are throwing back to stuff from the 80s.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't
You know
think.
what I
I
mean?
think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine.
I think it'll be fine too.
There
Don't get me
were
wrong.
a couple of things in that trailer, like Sean Austin is the guy, the medic running down the hall.
Was it really?
So yeah, so they've got a few more people who are wanting to be in Stranger Things. Maybe a bit more, especially because they got Winona and she was an 80s child and an 80s star sort of thing.
I never felt like her casting was like stunt casting.
Oh,
though.
absolutely not. No,
So I
Winona
hope
wasn't
that-
doing anything.
No, she's kind of.
Yeah, and then she fucked up that speech. Anyway, it's not the point. But yeah, I just don't. I agree with you. I don't want it. I don't want it to be Sean Austin, and then all of a sudden Corey Feldman rocks up, and
No,
I don't want it to.
Once it starts feeling like clear stunt casting, then I'll have issues.
Then you're like, okay.
I really, as much as I know, it might be kind of like hypocritical for me to say this after what I just said. The Vincent Price stuff was fucking awesome.
On the money. Like that was insane. How good was that?
And do you know what? It takes some balls. Real fucking brass balls to
man.
go, I'm going to take that narration that
Yeah.
everyone knows so well
Yeah.
and I'm going to put it in my trailer for my TV show.
But it fits so well.
It works so well.
Like,
So I had to respect it.
When Vince says blood, you see blood.
Yeah.
Oh.
And when it started, I was like, oh, guys. But
No,
by the end of it, I was
so
like,
good.
you sold it. You
totally
sold me.
works. Totally
Yeah,
works.
it works 100%. I'm on board. It's going to be great.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Do you know what, though?
Just hope Barb comes back.
Well, this is my thing. I was about to say, Barb got a fucking Emmy nom. The internet, basically the internet got Barb an Emmy nom.
Yeah.
Because she, like, I never subscribed to the Barb is
I did.
amazing thing. I was just
loved
like,
it.
oh yeah, she's in the show and she's fine.
I have a T-shirt that says "What about Barb?"
But this is what I mean. I don't get it. She was in the show. She was fine. She
I
was in it
loved
for
her.
10.
She was great.
She was in it
No.
for 15 minutes.
Oh,
let's be
come
real.
on. No.
And she was fine. She was great. Like, don't get me wrong. She served her purpose exceptionally well.
Right.
But
you didn't love Barb.
I was never like,
You were
oh,
never on
where's-
Barb's side. Like,
Well, but what was her side?
her
Was just
friend just fucked her over to get some.
That was just a character. It was just a character trait that we needed at that point. We just needed.
Barb got the raw end of the stick.
Yeah, she
and then
did a little bit.
Didn't she? She fucking died.
She
in the end.
died.
Come on.
She dead. She real dead. But
Spoilers
she
if
got
you
an
haven't
Emmy
seen it.
nom basically because she was a meme.
Yeah.
Which I find
She
kind
wasn't
of
a meme.
hilarious.
She was a T-shirt. It was rad. And I've still got
it's
it.
exactly right.
So good.
She wasn't a meme because memes weren't invented
Exactly.
in the 80s.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Thank God.
What
for
else we
that.
got next? We should do like a thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah.
Sure.
What was the last time when we had to do a one sentence kind of thing? Was it thumbs up, thumbs down?
No, I think it was when we rattled off. It wasn't that long ago. It was when we rattled off my what did I watch? We just went,
Should we do like we'll do a thumbs up, thumbs down.
All right.
So far, both thumbs up.
Yes.
2 thumbs up, Ready Player One.
Ready
2
Player
thumbs
One,
up.
2 thumbs up.
Stranger Things,
Things
Season 2.
All right.
What do we want to talk about next?
I'm going to bring up Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Did you watch that?
Yeah, I did.
The only thing I bring this up is because I enjoy Star Trek and the caliber that I'm excited because the caliber that TV programs, pardon me, have sorry. The caliber that TV... sorry, totally missed that. What I was saying.
Just threw you right off your game.
The TV programs have, most of the time, are bigger than film. You're talking about Game of Thrones.
Overall, once you work out,
Once, if you hit it like a hit like Star Trek, the budget nowadays...
I would assume, look, I've got no fucking clue, but I would assume it would be close to $1 million an episode.
Yeah.
And if you do a 15 to 20 episode run,
sure,
that's the budget of a smaller, kind of bigger, a smaller but yet well-funded film.
I'm just thinking going on something like Stranger Things or Game of Thrones or whatever, these things, the budget skyrockets if it does really well.
If it does really well, yeah, definitely.
And I feel that Star Trek's come a long way since its original.
Holy shit, yeah.
So it's
Have you watched the original series?
Yeah,
it's out of control.
I haven't.
It's so shit.
It looks like it's going to do well. I hope it does well. I just think that the budget behind it will make it huge.
I'm funny about the Star Trek series is because I feel like it's not fair to just jump into one of the new series without kind of trying to watch more of the older ones.
Sure.
And because I'm a little bit of a kind of fair weather fan, it's I'm not comfortable. Like I haven't watched any of Enterprise, and I when that started, which was probably about 10 years ago now. So
where did you stop? Deep Space Nine or Voyager?
I'm a bit like, so I've seen a lot of all of them, except for Enterprise. I haven't watched any of Enterprise, but I've never watched them chronologically. I've never watched them I've never sat down and gone, all right, I'm going to smash out Next Gen.
Wow. It's
just that because, and you'll be able to attest this as well, is that as we were growing up, very regularly on Channel 9,
late at night,
you had Star Trek episodes.
Yeah,
and so
which was so good.
It was 10:30, 11 o'clock.
I watched it all the time.
I would sit with my dad, and we would just, because it was like, oh, Star Trek's on. So I've watched a shit ton of episodes.
Yeah.
I have no idea where they sit in continuity or like a series, even like...
And the Star Trek world is vast.
And it's super fucking detailed. Yeah, like it's ridiculous. Yeah. So I know I've seen, if I had to pick the one that I've seen the most of, it's probably Voyager.
Okay, yeah,
because that was kind of... That was right at that time.
A bit more mature to watch them and understand them a bit more. Yeah,
I think it was probably early teen when Voyager was airing, so I think it was kind of that took up a lot of that time. I've seen the least of the original series because I'm not really interested.
Yep.
And then probably Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
I've seen quite a fair bit of Next Gen.
Yeah, I've seen all of Next Gen and nothing else. I've seen all of Next Gen, all of Deep Space Nine, and nothing else.
I really want Deep Space Nine because I've heard it's the best one.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I've heard it's the best kind of like sci-fi one, whereas Next Gen's a little bit more kind of...
it's more of a drama.
Popular entertainment?
It's a drama sort of thing, yeah.
So,
but
I'll give this, like, I might give it a go, but it's hard for me to kind of want to commit to it.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I'm cheating a little bit. It's like,
you feel like you're watching the fifth movie and you haven't seen the original.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally understand.
Yeah.
Well, that was Star Trek Discovery.
Excellent.
It's going to be a half for me.
I was about to say it's a one thumb up, one thumb down.
One thumb up, down.
I like it.
Yeah. I'm going to bring up Bright.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about Bright really quickly.
Will Smith. I thought it was a TV series. It's not. It's a movie on Netflix.
Netflix original movie.
So it's Will Smith and other species living among us, and he's a cop who. Yeah. It's a buddy cop. It's not a buddy cop comedy, but it's a serious.
It doesn't seem like a comedy at all.
It's not a comedy at all. But it's a serious cop drama, and his partner is an alien from another species, basically.
Well, an orc. I feel like.
Oh, it's an orc.
I feel like it's kind of fantasy-based creatures. So like orcs and goblins and fairies.
Yeah, because he hits at the start of the trailer. He's hitting a fairy out of the buzzer out the front. You know what are they called?
Flycatcher.
Flycatcher.
Is that what
Fly
it's called?
buzzer. You know the blue light thing.
Yeah, I know the one.
Yeah, you know the one. Okay. It looks like it could be really watchable, this thing. This thing looks like it could be really a lot of fun.
Agree. I was actually really kind of surprised at how much I enjoyed the trailer.
It looks entertaining. It looks quite dark, which I love.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, Tyson...
Oh, okay, this is what we're about to talk about. Yes.
But unfortunately, Tyson, that's what I thought when I first saw the Suicide Squad trailer. And unfortunately, David Ayer is directing
So
this.
David Ayer has a real fucking...
He needs to get out of this whole...
I was about to say hit and miss career for me.
Yeah.
Where I think it's actually miss and miss. I just don't think I've liked anything he's ever done.
But he's a writer on that, so...
because he was predominantly a writer.
Yeah.
He's only directed a few things. So
it's the End of Watch I haven't seen.
Street Kings is really kind of not interesting. Sabotage
I didn't mind.
Sabotage
it wasn't great,
okay.
but it was
so depressingly dirty. And I was just like, you know what? This film is like, this is one of those. He wrote Training Day, which is kind of his claim to fame.
Exactly.
He wrote the screenplay for Dark Blue, which I really like.
And U571.
He reminds me of a lot of like a Joe Carnahan. How do you ever say his name?
Yeah.
The guy that directed The Grey and Narc. As in...
Likes one word.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
As in the kind of guy that I don't think I would be friends with if I knew them. Like, because I've heard them speaking in interviews and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I don't like you.
Yeah.
They just happen to make movies
We wouldn't be friends.
Yeah, we wouldn't be friends.
Yeah,
They're
fine.
a very different sort of person. And David Ayer strikes me as the kind of guy that's very... He is driven by masculinity.
Yeah, you could tell the way that he treated the Harley Quinn character. Like she is.
Yeah, look, I don't want to kind of
go into that too much.
That's
fair enough.
But it's just because his films are like dripping with masculinity.
Sure.
Like that is just.
He's not like a dude.
That's what they're about.
He's not a dude, bro. Like you've done a dude.
Well, that's what
like
I said
that.
about Joe Carnahan.
Yeah.
I
really?
felt like he was a real fucking dude, bro. So maybe David Ayer is probably
Bit of
not
a
that
dude,
far
bro?
away.
Okay. The thing is, though, Tys, the writer is Max Landis.
Fuck Max Landis.
Fuck Max Landis. You don't like Max Landis?
Well, he hasn't written anything good, and
he hasn't
just
done anything
ever.
good.
And he just keeps getting
Chronicle. Like
he keeps getting gigs because he's fucking John Landis's kid.
Yeah. Yeah, fair deal.
Like, you know, I'm still waiting for Max Landis to be like, oh, hey, you can write something nice. Good.
And not overly brag about yourself.
Yeah, and not fucking show up everywhere and like you're the fucking God's gift to screenwriting. When you haven't actually produced anything of real note yourself.
Yeah, fair
Like,
deal.
that's the thing that kind of frustrates me. I wouldn't mind him having, like, he can have all this fucking, bravado if he likes, if he's got something to back it up.
Yeah,
and
maybe he's a bit too young to be having that much bravado. Anyone who has that much bravado at that young, I'm like, dude, you haven't lived yet. Give it a bit, give it a bit.
Yes.
Maybe have a bit of knowledge under your belt before you
just
start.
stay kind of humble for a little while.
Exactly.
And then, get a couple of really kind of
Bowie's son. That's the way that you do it.
Yeah.
Change your fucking name and don't go, no. I understand.
Exactly. And people still have to be told that's Bowie's son.
Exactly. Not that I'm comparing Landis to Bowie, because it's very different.
They're different levels. But to a lot of people, Landis is like
he's
the
great.
be all end all of like 80s kind of.
Absolutely.
What was it, like horror specifically?
It's horror. Yeah. He did do he was the man behind the Thriller trailer. So the trailer.
Yeah.
It's a short film, but yeah. But I'm gonna watch this, Tys. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna
me
give
too. Do you know why? Because it's on
another
Netflix, and how fucking hard is it to select it on my fucking television?
Exactly.
So
Boom.
of course, do you know I heard this fucking thing is
Will
costing $90 million?
Jesus Christ, really? Yeah, all just in the trailer. Did you see the CG monsters of this thing?
Yeah,
like
it's
bring
legit.
It on. Bring it on.
This is, but that's what I mean. It's a legit, huge, like big budget sci-fi fantasy, and it's going straight to Netflix.
Yeah. Go Netflix.
The world is changing, my man.
Exactly.
Right,
but it's a thumbs up, thumbs down. It's a mid.
It's two thumbs up for me.
Okay.
But this might be his last chance, though.
Oh, it's his last
David
chance.
Ayer has not made a film that I've enjoyed, like legitimately enjoyed all the way through. This might be his last chance.
Suck it, Ayer.
If you're listening, you suck.
You suck it.
Okay.
Next one.
Next one. I want to talk about Jigsaw. Did you see Jigsaw trailer?
I didn't, but I didn't last night, but I have seen it. Yes,
cool.
yes.
So I want to talk about Jigsaw just briefly because it's been directed by two Australians.
It is, yeah.
The Sprague brothers, I think I want to say their name.
Sprague, yeah.
Sprague?
Yep.
Sprague. I don't know how to pronounce their names, but I do know how to congratulate them on two very fucking enjoyable films that I've seen of theirs.
Absolutely.
I never watched Undead, one of their first films. I think I started watching it and I was like, do you know what? As much as I want to respect the filmmaking technique on offer here, it's just a little too...
Australian?
No, it was a little too... You've clearly made this for no money, and I'm just not up for that right now.
Fair deal. My brother loves that movie. I gave it to him as a preview tape that we got from the video.
Yeah. I think that's what I watched.
He loves it.
Yeah, and look, I've heard it's really great, but you've got to be in a certain frame of mind to forgive some of those things when you watch it. And I should go back and watch it again, but at that time I wasn't up for it.
Sure.
But I think Daybreakers is really underrated as like a cool kind of sci-fi vampire thing. And Predestination, if people haven't seen Predestination, it was one of my favorite movies of that year it came out. It is an absolute headfuck, and it is so exceptionally well made. Yeah. And it features a performance from the female actress in that. She's got an odd name.
Snook?
Yes.
What is her name?
Sarah Snook.
Sarah Snook.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Sarah Snook?
Her performance ranks as an all-timer, and that film is fucking great. And I'm actually really excited for this because I'm I'm an on-off again fan of the Saw series. I think it's so bonkers crazy that you got to give it credit.
But that first one is just fucking awesome.
I love the first one. Yeah. The second one is fine. The third one, I started to tune out.
I tried to do a marathon one time.
It's hard work.
And it's a slog.
It's really hard work.
Because I'm like, what the fuck? Hang on, these two are connected? Yeah, they're
And reading about some of the ways that they connect the story up and how he's been dead for like 4 movies now or some shit. But he's
in this one.
He's still popping up.
He's in this one.
So this is I find it really funny. But I'm really pumped because these guys have made 2 movies that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of inspired that they had the chance to be the people to kind of reinvent the Saw series.
Yeah, man. Awesome.
Yeah, so bring it on.
Bring it on. I'm going to watch them all eventually anyway again, and I'll probably watch this one as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, moving on. All right.
I've got...
I've only got 2 more.
Oh, well, I've got the 2 left as
Okay,
well.
let's do it.
So, second last.
Thor Ragnarok.
Let's talk Thor Ragnarok. It's my favourite trailer of...
It's insane.
I don't know, fucking 6 years, 7 years,
Whoa,
maybe?
Whoa, that's a bit big.
Yeah, no, I loved this trailer.
Whoa, that's way too big. Really?
No, absolutely.
The Civil War trailer.
No.
Come on, no.
Nothing. I have not enjoyed a trailer as much as I enjoyed this trailer. For a very long time.
That is a massive statement.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. And what is it, Tyson, that you loved? Look, don't get me wrong. This thing was amazing, but I just don't think it's that big a call.
But, it's one of those things where
you know what it is? It's Nick Tyson videotape to a T.
It is.
The soundtrack and the font to this thing
is so fucking good.
The soundtrack was like a mix between like Daft Punk, the guys that did this Stranger Things soundtrack, and Cliff Martinez.
Yeah.
It was like a mold between them, and it was I played the trailer.
It's great.
Just on its own, just to listen to it.
It's super retro, which obviously appeals to a certain part of me that I can't fight, and that's fine.
Yep.
Like, let me have that. But even just the way it, as a trailer, as it created the anticipation for a film, I think it was on the money. They gave away just the right amount of stuff.
Yeah.
They set up the story really effectively. There were laughs. There were holy shit moments.
Yep.
There was
you got to know your villain a little.
You got to know your villain a little bit. You got to just see enough of their motives to kind of
to give
get
you
an
a hint
idea.
Of, okay, this is going to happen.
And you got to have a legitimate, I was like, holy shit, Thor, fucking yeah. Because that moment where it's like, what were you the god of again?
God of thunder.
Fucking the thunder coming out of his fucking eyeballs. I'm like, that's the
insane.
fuck he was the god of. Lady.
Oh,
she's going
so
nuts.
good. So good. I do love the comedy in this thing. Like, I know it's going to have its serious moments, but they're just so good.
You know, we know it's going to be... my one mild concern is that it's going to be a little too
funny,
a little too kind of that's an obvious like setup and gag that belongs in a different Taika Waititi movie, not this movie.
Not this one.
And it gets dangerously close the way he was like, I lost my hammer yesterday, so that's
still kind of fresh.
Oh,
I love that.
Which is a really funny line, and you've just got to hope that that's just the perfect balance.
And they just leave it at that,
and because Thor so far really as a character hasn't presented this side of himself. Like, he's been kind of unaware of... He has some funny
moments, but he's unaware of that he's funny.
But his funniness has come from his fish out of water kind of style elements to him, how he treats Earth like Asgard.
Compared to Asgard.
And so there's funniness there, whereas now he's legitimately... He's a Jamie Clements style... character. So I'm just hoping that they keep that perfect balance of that.
Just stay on the
fence.
Because
if they do, and it looks like this, because it looks fucking amazing. It's beautiful.
So many colours.
So much colour.
It's just a colour. They've merged. You know what they've done? They've merged. Remember when you saw Guardians 2 and we were talking about that colour?
Yeah.
They've done that with just a tinge, Asgard with a tinge of Guardians 2.
Yes.
That's what the colour is kind of coming out at us. And it's just
Kate Blanchett.
Looks
amazing. Fucking awesome. Like,
I love that the headpiece moves. How good is that?
Stunning. It's absolutely stunning. And I really like Carl Urban as well. And it's good to see him doing some stuff. I'm a big fan of his.
Huge.
It's just every part of it I was on board for. Loki coming back.
Here's my qualm.
Okay.
Sure. This is my only qualm. Why is Loki back?
Well,
do we need Loki this much, Tyson?
Are you telling me Thor can't stand on his own? When was the last time we saw Loki? Not
Thor 2.
Yeah, that's been a while, man.
Yeah, I don't need to see him in every Thor movie, Tys.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean? He's been in every Thor movie now.
But we could say that about certain other things, like...
Such as?
Well, we've got two...
Go on.
Until... Sorry.
Put you on the spot.
We're about to have... when we have another Captain America movie, you can't tell me that Winter Soldier's not going to be in that.
Oh, that's true.
So,
all right.
We're kind of getting at a point where there are regular players
so it's Thor,
in certain movies.
Okay.
Yeah?
All right. Okay.
And so it's as simple as saying that the Iron Man movies will have... Happy?
Pepper
I don't
Potts?
know. Like
No,
there are
that's
players.
not-
There are
they're
players in
there.
certain
All right,
in
fair
certain
enough.
stories.
Fair
So
enough.
because I'm glad now that Loki has kind of taken a backseat to the other stories. Like we're not treating him anymore.
Yeah.
So he's allowed to kind of flourish in the Thor movies. I think the one thing that I get what you're saying is that we did the let's recruit Loki last
We've done
time.
that.
We
yeah.
did that, and
he fucked Thor over. Thinking, you've got to think of the
he fucked
end
him over,
of,
but also didn't fuck him over.
the
Like
end
it
of
was,
Thor 2. What happened at the end of Thor 2?
He took the throne.
He
So
took the
obviously
throne.
something has happened.
You have to do something about that. Yeah.
So another podcast also that I was listening to mentioned something really funny is that how excited Thor seems to be starting a team when he says, let's make a team because he was left out of the Civil War shit.
Yeah.
And he gets to make his own team now. I'm like, that's really fucking
I do
great.
love that. I do love that.
Yeah, look,
Thor's team. Thor wants a team.
Of course he does.
Yeah. And the Thor team has fucking Hulk on it.
It's got the Hulk on it, man. And the Hulk he's had a haircut.
I know. It's so good. I love that Thor and Hulk have both had haircuts. But that last image, do you remember that last image? Oh, that's the one that made me go...
Hulk diving into the big giant flame monster. Oh. I did find out who that was, but I've forgotten. It's just some kind of... It's a minor character.
Very minor.
No, I think the bit for me was definitely him landing on the bridge, the rainbow. Is it the Rainbow Bridge?
Rainbow Bridge, yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. It's got a name for it, but
with the fucking the thunder coming out of everything,
thunder coming out of his face.
Of course, thunder is the sound, Tyson. You idiot.
No, but he is the god of thunder.
Yes.
Thor, the god of
So it looked, it looked fucking great, and it made me like giddy with excitement.
Yeah.
So I have to rank it as my favorite.
It's a three thumbs up.
3 thumbs up.
Yeah, this thing's gonna be off the fucking chain.
Oh yeah. Here's hoping. Here is hoping.
Now I'd like to just segue from this amazing thing of how you do a trailer.
Yes.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I'm just going to say I'm going to put a time limit on this because we tend to rant when it comes to this particular franchise.
Tell me I've got 5. Give me 5. Give me 3.
You got 3 to 5.
Okay, good. So going from a trailer that you do really well, like you said, they set up what happened. He lost his hammer.
Yep.
We've got a bit of the for fuck's sake, Nicholas, the bad guy. We've got a bit of tensions from what's going to happen there. We've got a bit of comedy moments, which is always fun to have. You've got the money shots, which is what we want. Things like Thor and Hulk going at it, things like that. You've got a bit of a sense of what's going to happen in the movie now. Now this trailer for Thor 2 is the second trailer. Yes.
There was a.
No, just for trailers.
Yeah, okay.
It's just
I think it's the second one. Okay.
Now, Justice League, which what we're talking about, I'm going to count the Comic-Con of last year came out.
That's fair.
I'm going to count that because that was a decent. I didn't mind that.
I can't believe the first trailer for this came out a year ago.
This is how much time they've had.
Holy shit!
This is the third trailer for Justice League, Tyson, and I don't know who the villain is. Okay, I've got nothing unless I look it up.
Yeah, unless you look it up, I have no idea of their.
No, I do know. I know shit ton about this fucking world.
Yeah.
I've read enough.
But there is no clear sense of motivations for that villain whatsoever.
This trailer is literally. I've got nothing with plot. I'm still in the dark. Okay.
Which in some ways, and to be fair, we've spoken in the past how we enjoy trailers that don't give away the plot.
But this isn't doing that.
So, it's not... This is vague for the sake of...
This is showing me...
misdirection almost.
Nothing but money shots. Now, if I'm going to come to my senses, maybe they don't have the clear through, which is what the 25 million is going to glue together.
I would say we have a better idea than we did from the last one because we did finally get to see... Do people know we're talking about Justice League?
Justice League, yeah, they do.
Did we say that?
Yeah, I said
we did get to see Steppenwolf, who is just another big, dark, grey villain that can shoot fire or has a big fucking hammer.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm like, you've done this.
You've really done this.
You did this for fucking BVS. You did it for Wonder Woman.
Seriously.
we need to get away from this.
Yeah.
I'm not spending my life saying the whole fucking title anymore.
Exactly. But it's just, okay, so if you don't know about this world, because most people watching this, Tys, know 2 out of the 5 characters. In Justice League, they've been introduced to 2 of these.
Oh, we've been very briefly introduced to the Flash in Suicide Squad, but
very briefly. Yeah.
So, yeah.
In Suicide Squad, you mean BVS? When was he in Suicide Squad? Flash?
Yeah, he arrests Captain Boomerang. That little moment.
Fucking right.
Yeah.
So you've had.
Oh, of course, and he's in that stupid fucking bit where he busts through time.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So most people don't know who Aquaman is. Most people who don't know Cyborg. So if you watch this trailer, because I asked Sam about this, which was my favourite. When Cyborg drops into the Batmobile, you see wires go into something, and because it's ominous music. He sounds like a fucking bad guy, and he says, "Don't worry, Alfred, I've got it now." And Alfred says, "I'm sorry, who are you again?"
Yeah,
they don't know who this is. They don't know what he can do. It doesn't make any sense. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to say that Joss has a really big job ahead of him.
Yeah,
and good luck to that man. I trust him. I'm still going to see it,
of course,
but I just feel as a trailer, I should know.
It was. You know what's funny is, and it was also because it was a long trailer. It was a 4-minute trailer.
Yep,
and. The only things that got me kind of excited by it were
nothing did it for me in this thing.
No, well, I would say seeing is it Themyscira?
Themyscira, yeah.
Again, was kind of cool.
Yeah, and
I was like, all right, great, because they were
that was a cool
easily
part
my favorite part of Wonder Woman was the stuff on Themyscira.
Awesome.
And
yeah, exactly. You're searching,
and
you shouldn't be searching. The fact that you can ramble off what you
Flash
like in Thor.
I like the energy of Flash. I like that he's little kind of. I don't fight people. I just push them and run away.
Yeah.
And the bit at the end with that was kind of rude.
That was kind of rude.
Just like that. Yeah. That stuff worked for me. I'll tell you what didn't work for me, and
please
10 points to my my partner for pointing this out as well, because we both had the same moment where we went, "What?" Is when Batman says. Superman was a beacon of hope.
Oh,
he was what the world, stood up for. And we both looked at each other and said, "No, he wasn't.
He didn't save fucking anyone.
He fucking hated people. The whole second movie, the whole fucking BVS is about how he's torn about how
should he even fucking do his job?
Bother?
Yeah,
like there's all those fucking people graffitiing over his signs.
And in this trailer, the statue that you have of him is destroyed.
Yeah,
you destroyed it.
He wasn't a beacon of hope. No one thought he was a beacon of hope.
No,
just because he died. I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's like you can't write dialogue to fix
your fucking
the problems
mistakes
of
in your last
the other
film.
movies.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just go,
Good
no,
point.
this is the time. This is how these people feel because I've just said it in this dialogue. It's like, no. Like that's kind of cheating.
Yeah.
You need to actually have shown us that, because this Superman that we see in both Man of Steel and BVS was not what you're saying he is right now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of not cool.
Absolutely.
Like, that's not fair. You should be saying, I know that he was questioned. And even for fucking Batman to say it, who literally, the trailer for the last film was that the whole bit of that, even if there's a 1% chance that he's not on our side, we have to destroy him. It's kind of like, hey, man.
Do you bleed?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you didn't think this about him just because you had the same fucking mother's name.
Fuck off.
You can't just change your mind like that. That's not how characters work.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so I was a bit shitty about that because the rest of the trailer looked like a good time for me, and that could have easily been fixed by him saying something like, we had our differences, the Earth maybe didn't understand him, but I think he stood for something and we should try and...
There you go.
And it's done. It's fixed.
Fixed it.
Fucking idiots, man.
We're going to stop talking about this. That was trailers, people. That was trailers.
Talking trailers. That is our longest
Comic-Con.
talking trailers.
Yeah, so it should be. It's
Comic-Con special.
Comic-Con special.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Comic-Con special.
Comic-Con special.
So we're going to just briefly do a bit of what did you watch this week.
Very brief.
Nick, you go for it, buddy.
I'll be quick. So
what'd you watch, man?
Because I've been at home a lot, I'm feeding my little man.
Because you have a Bobby.
Yeah. I have a lot of TV to catch up on, and I knew that I would, so I left the lead up to Defenders. So January Jones, Luke Cage.
Jones.
Oh, Jessica Jones, sorry. January Jones, the actress.
The actress.
Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. I've
smashed them all.
I smashed them all.
Great. So you hadn't seen any of them?
None of it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Apart from Daredevil 1 and 2.
Sure.
Which is But yeah, Jessica Jones, great dialogue.
Can I just have a guess?
Go for it.
If I ordered them from good to bad?
Yeah, go.
Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist?
Yeah. Yeah. It really was like that, which I didn't expect. I thought, I don't know. But yeah, Jessica Jones was great. I love the detective for hire, and it was quite dark. There were quite dark elements to that. I love that.
I mean, it's kind of a spoiler, but fucking, I don't know, just go watch the show.
Watch it.
Around the time when it took that angle of her living with him.
Yeah.
That
was quite sadistic.
I was like, this show has got some fucking...
This is messed up.
It's got some real interesting
really
kind of points.
Yeah.
And I was on board, man. I really dug it. I thought it was really great, and it's one of my favorite villains in the whole of fucking Marvel. I think he was awesome, David
He was
Tennant. Twisted,
and he was really quite sadistic in a way
really
that quite adult for something that's a comic, essentially a comic book.
And like in a far more complicated way than some other villains are presented.
Yeah,
because he would be charming and charismatic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And at times, we almost as viewers kind of thought that he was going to have the redemption arc because he was that charming.
Yeah.
That it's like,
but he didn't at all. Like,
but that's not this show, man. It was just that's how fucking complicated a villain he was.
Absolutely.
He actually made us as viewers want him to have the arc, to have the redemption arc.
Oh no, you can actually do some real good here.
Yeah,
with your power, which we're not going to indulge.
Yeah,
you have to watch.
Killer show, really
amazing.
Great.
But yeah, Luke Cage, it was kind of the mediocre. The music, I have to say, in Luke Cage was completely on point.
Definitely had its pluses. I feel like it went pretty quickly. I think I might have mentioned this already. I feel like it went pretty quickly downhill at the point where one of the villains was no longer.
Yes, you have said this.
Was no longer the villain.
Yep.
And was replaced by
a different person. That's correct, actually.
Yeah.
It really changed it, and it wasn't. I feel his character wasn't thought out enough. Or no, that's not right. That's not true. The story of that season wasn't thought out enough. No,
and Luke Cage was a big example of the 13 episodes is too long.
Yes, it is.
Way too long. Yeah. It should have been 10 at most.
Yeah, same with Daredevil. Like, even though Daredevil...
I was fine with Daredevil season 1. Season
2 was where you needed to cut back, have it 10 episodes.
Whereas Jessica Jones, I was actually kind of okay with.
Yeah, it was good.
13 episodes.
It was.
Because
I
never felt that mid-season lull, because the mid-season was actually the most...
it was the most intense.
Part of the season.
It was good because you knew her, and then you were kind of you were getting a little bit of retrospective of what her life was like, and a bit of backstory, and which was.
I feel like it was about episode 8 or 9. When was the episode where he was caught in that glass? That
was about 8
glass.
or 9, yeah.
They were my favorite couple of episodes. Those
really?
little 3 or 4 episodes around that point.
Yep.
Okay. So obviously, if that was episode 8 or so, that's my peak point. So,
and then Iron Fist,
Iron Fist, which I haven't watched.
I'm 2 episodes from finishing, and he's the weakest link out of this Defenders thing. He really is, because he's coming off as a douche. He's coming off as a real douche.
Well, hopefully that's kind of like an arc that they're going to try and.
Hey man, but I do love one thing. I will give it is that they have woven this thing really, really well, and it's all kind of around.
Hell's Kitchen?
No.
Is that what you're talking
What's the actress's name?
Oh.
Who's the nurse in everything?
Oh, Rosario Dawson. Yeah.
They're doing it really well.
Great.
Really well. Yeah.
And is what's her name? Is it Chow? Helen the crime boss from Daredevil. Miss
Madam
Chow? Madam Chow?
Madam Gao.
Madam Gao.
You were close. Madam Gao, yeah.
Has she popped up in... Because she pops up in Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Has she popped up in Iron Fist?
She is the villain in Iron Fist.
Oh, right.
And I was like, they took this, like, that's probably the only thing that's keeping me watching Iron Fist is that Madame Gao is bad fucking
Great
ass.
choice of villain.
Yeah,
like this little fucking unassuming Chinese lady that you wouldn't think would be able to fucking cross the road without assistance.
This is full on,
and she is twisted, man.
She's messed up.
It's great.
Yeah, she's messed up.
I really like her choices.
So, I'm getting ready for Defenders. Bring on Defenders. I really can't wait. It's going to be a nice little Avengers. A mini Avengers.
Mini Avengers.
Yeah.
And I like all the... I can't say for Iron Fist because I haven't seen it, but I like the 3 leads exceptionally well. Like, I think even though Luke Cage, maybe the series wasn't fantastic, I think he is excellent in the role. And Jessica Jones...
She's spot on. She's so fucking good.
God, why can't I think of her name right now?
Really so fucking good.
From Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 fame, who I was always like, that show is fucking hilarious.
Ritter. What is her name? Ritter.
Yeah, Kristen Ritter.
Yeah.
She's an odd choice, but an exceptionally good choice for
So
that
good
role.
at it. So good at it.
And
I love
and
the
Charlie
outfit.
Cox is excellent as Daredevil. He's really great.
So yeah, that's what I watched. What did you watch, Tys?
Okay, well, I went and watched Dunkirk last night.
Oh Jesus!
Dunkirk is. I am still
Talk to me.
kind of processing Dunkirk.
Wow. Okay. Decent.
Yeah,
It's a nice
It was a
watch.
really affecting experience.
Yeah.
Without like sounding like a big fucking tosser, it kind of got under my skin a lot.
Oh,
And
really?
Yeah, it really made me. It really got to me on a not so much an emotional level, although that's not fair to say because I definitely had an emotional response to
Right.
it. But even on a physical level,
Wow.
like it gave me kind of it gave me like movie watching anxiety. So,
Nice.
and that's rare for movies to do that now, but it had me squirming in my seat.
Right.
And it had me kind of wishing things weren't going the way they were going. It's that kind of movie where you're just like, I just want to scream with the built up anxiety that this film is giving me.
Nice.
And for that alone, it's an incredible experience, and I think it needs to be seen.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I've been reading a lot of. Well, generally, it's getting very good reviews.
Yeah,
but
it
the
is.
only thing that people are saying, kind of in a negative sense, is that there aren't characters to kind of to latch onto.
Right.
And I
don't think you need
I
that
don't
all the time.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that assessment.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I find really interesting about it is that these characters are presented in a very matter of fact kind of way. This isn't like your typical. It's not your typical kind of blockbuster war movie where you have your plucky kind of hero or anything like that. It's everyone seems really plain and boring's an unfair word, but you know, it's like if you or I happened to end up in war, we wouldn't suddenly become these plucky heroes with this G-shucks.
Speak for yourself. I'm going to be fucking Steve Rogers, motherfucker.
You know what,
I'm kidding.
I'd like to assume that, you know, I'd be at least the funny one
but it's
of
a very
the group.
serious fucking... Like, it's not
and so
funny.
I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what I really respected about it was that it presented these people as just very normal people in a fucked up situation.
Yeah.
And I really got on board with that. Like Tom Hardy as the pilot is like he doesn't have a lot of dialogue, and he doesn't take off his mask until the very last scene. So you don't. But he
The darkness, Mr. Work.
exactly.
Yeah.
But all of his dialogue is so just plain and delivered just matter of fact the whole way.
Yeah.
Like he's talking about how much petrol he's got left, and he's just like 40 gallons. Sorry, they're British. 40 gallons, 130. I think I got it. And that's it. And it's just really kind of, this is a no frills. It is not about the big, the heart swelling kind of war.
Sort of Saving Private Ryan.
It's
saving someone. We're doing it for a purpose, sort of thing.
Well, it doesn't present the glamorized view of war heroics, which I think is something that we've kind of fallen into a trap with. It was people making very plain decisions that were ultimately unbelievably heroic, but we forget that because we're so used to the glamorized version of them, the big heroic stuff.
I understand.
And I fucking loved it. I thought it was really, really great.
Bring it on.
And the feeling of being trapped in some of those situations, like the way it toys with your anxiety, was incredibly effective. And probably, I think we're desensitized a lot of war movies now. And you know, you watch like the opening of Saving Private Ryan, and yes, at the time, what a
full on. It was full on.
It would mess with you, and we read all the stories about war survivors having like
going to the set. Did you read those?
For when watching it and stuff like that.
You
know what I mean?
Spielberg asked some guys to come to the set.
What's it called? Post-traumatic stress. So PTSD. What did I say? PSD. That's something made up.
But he had war veterans come to the set, and they started crying. And they didn't want to be there at all.
But you watch that now, and we're almost at a point where we've oversaturated that. Yeah. What Dunkirk does really well is that it makes the small moments seem because they were the
Heroically
life
massive.
change.
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
even the heroic ones, but the small ones that were life and death.
Yeah.
Like there are so many moments where somebody could potentially die simply because they walked in a room at the wrong time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's not about the beach landing and the huge attack and bombs, like grenades going off and picking up legs and holding it over your shoulder or trying to pack your intestines back in.
Yeah.
It was just
Or
the
using
simple
a
things like
using a corpse to get from A to B.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was like almost, and you can't take away the horrifics of that, of course, but there's almost something more horrific about the mundaneness of
the smallness,
knowing that you are going to die because the small area you are in is filling up with water and you can't get out.
Fuck.
And you know what I mean? And you're seeing it fill up around you, and you're like, this isn't how I should have gone.
Yeah.
I should have gone crashing my fighter plane into an enemy boat, heroically waving a flag.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But instead, I'm going to die as the person that no one ever fucking knew, trapped, wearing my life jacket, and I'm going to get squeezed between two boats that just happen to merge together at the wrong time. It's that stuff that I found really affecting. I really loved it.
Yeah.
Really, really loved it.
I can't wait, to be honest. I really can't, because the last war movie that I saw was it Hacksaw Ridge, was in the Oscar, which was just
so Hacksaw Ridge is the perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Whereas
how the heroics of him up on the ledge just dropping down bodies, and that was
like,
such a...
And look, don't get me wrong, he did this, and you can't underestimate the power of the fact that he did that.
Yeah.
But in that movie, it's the blistering score. It's the looking
guys
up
down
at God
at the bottom
and
going, oh my God, where is this coming from? This guy's amazing.
And it's him saying, what do you want from me, God? I can give you everything I got.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
So
and
true.
this is just the simple guy. And like the main story kind of follows, there's 3 stories happening concurrently.
Yeah.
And the main one follows just a young kid who just is trying to get off the fucking beach.
Right.
And that, I feel like that's me. Like, I feel like I'm not
okay.
obviously
Yeah.
young anymore.
Yeah.
But imagine if we went to
quite
war.
young,
Do you know, imagine if we went to war.
We'd be snipers. We'd be all right.
Would we? You reckon?
Yeah.
With my eyesight.
Yeah.
You're wearing
I'm
fucking
wearing
glasses too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's me. I'm just the kid who just wants to desperately get home and get the fuck away from all this.
Yeah, man.
I'm not the one that's, I'm not the one that's praising God and trying to save. Not that I wouldn't, I'd like to think that if push came to shove, I would try and help someone other than myself.
Absolutely.
But at the same time,
it's very different.
You're in a position where it's just like, I just need to get off this fucking thing because
this is not where I'm meant to be.
This is not where I'm meant to be. And I really dug that it didn't try to be overly dramatic, overly heroic. It was men doing what they had to do at that time to survive. Yeah. And I'm all about it. I think it was great. So get on it.
I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, the last thing I saw was Hacksaw Ridge, and it didn't do it for me. Like in any instance, which is fucking rare.
Anyway, let's move on.
That's what we watched.
That's what we watched.
It was big.
God, we might as well end the show. Like, it's
seriously,
this is a normal podcast length show right now.
Fucking hell! Well, maybe we should. No, we can't.
No, we can't because we promised the people.
We promised the people.
We're going to talk. It's time for our feature or presentation.
Let's talk, people.
And now for our feature presentation.
So here we are.
Here we are.
Holy shit!
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day.
It's getting longer.
It is getting longer. We're going to smash this out though.
We are.
It's going to be something else, and we're talking 1994's Speed.
Speed. Oh, I love this movie. Has it been a while since you watched it, Tys?
Yeah, it has been a while.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
but because it's one of the first DVDs I ever owned.
Oh, nice.
I've seen this movie a lot, to the point where I found myself zoning out while I was playing it because I'm like, I don't need to watch this.
Part.
I know this part.
Yeah.
I know it so well, and I was quoting dialogue in my head as we were saying it. Like, it's just. It's really funny because when you mentioned that last week, and I was like, yeah, I know that cue, but it's literally the first cue that you hear.
Yeah, going down the elevator.
While the elevator at the start. Yeah.
Oh. I love it.
Yeah.
Or the oh, so good. But
it's
so it's the first DVD you ever bought?
No, it wasn't the first, but it was definitely one of the first.
One of the first. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know I've had it for a very long time, and I know it's been one of those choices where I'm like, do you want to let's watch Speed? Well, it's just kind of like, let's watch Speed.
Yeah.
Because you can't go wrong putting on Speed.
You can't.
It's my opinion of it. No, that's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair to say that my opinion of it has lessened over time because that's not fair. I actually don't think that's true. But my enjoyment of it, I think, has lessened a little bit.
Yeah,
over time.
I'm gonna agree with you because for me, unfortunately, as soon as they step off the bus, it's kind of like, what happened? What happened? Actually, once they step off the bus, there are two massive holes for me that I can't ignore.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll get to them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we talk about the structure of it? Because it does have an interesting structure. It actually has something that not a lot of other action films effectively pull off.
Yeah.
Which is the 3-act.
Yeah.
But 3 separate events.
Acts. Yeah.
So it's really clearly
I feel like other
defined.
movies have tried to do this and have failed.
Well, because a lot of action films have the prologue,
before the title sequence.
It might not even be before the titles, but it's like the event that creates our hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shows us our villain.
I was thinking about it because it could so easily be this, but I was thinking about Cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, the bit at the start so the prologue of Cliffhanger
That's such a rad jump, I love
is Sylvester Stallone, and he's unable to save his best friend's wife.
Yep.
In a climbing accident. To me, that's what the start of this feels like.
Yeah, yeah.
Except in an actual strange turn, they don't kill anyone.
No.
Which is like they actually save a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's like it's doing what a lot of action films do, but it's inverting it a little bit.
Okay.
I actually like the first, is it 20 minutes or so?
Yeah.
I think it's my favorite 20 minutes of this film.
You're talking about the elevator up into the bus, that's it.
The bus is great, don't get me wrong. I love the bus, but I actually think that's my favorite part of this film, is the start.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's definitely not the end.
Yeah, it's definitely not the end.
Because this is one of those
the bus
films
for me
that
is so...
really tapers off at the end, and it just does not live up to the expectation. The bus is great, but I just love how tight that first 15, 20 minutes is.
Yeah, yeah.
It packs a fuck ton of information in.
Yeah, man, it does
really
its job
effectively.
well. Yeah.
Really effectively. We learn so much about the characters that we are dealing with in that first. And my first note is that Dennis Hopper straight up shivs a dude first scene. And I love that's how this movie wastes not a second.
This is the bad guy, boom, let's go for it. Yeah.
And
it's violent and
it's really good because it treats like I like the overture-ness of the opening credits. It feels like an overture.
Yeah, it does.
And you've just got
It's very rare that you get this anymore.
Yeah.
You get a credit sequence that literally...
Usually it's integrated with story elements and stuff. We're just forced to sit there and we read some names and we listen to some music.
Exactly.
With that dropping through the elevator, which I think is really clever.
So beautiful.
And then the first thing we see is the security guard being like, "You're not allowed to be here, sir." And
he's like, "Oh yeah, fair enough."
Fucking straight in the
just
ear.
Gonna shiv you in the face and not give two fucks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so like this movie, it takes off, man.
Yeah,
and
man.
I really like this elevator sequence.
I do love it. I do love it as well. So I saw this for the first time free with my friends.
How did you see it free?
My friend got us in. His
did
dad.
You sneak in?
No, his dad.
It's like you fucking rebel.
Oh, I wish I had done that. No, he snuck us in. He snuck us in. No, he didn't. He had a friend who was the projectionist, and he got us in. So it was
awesome.
It was literally like a friends, because I went with 4 friends.
Yeah.
So it was my Goonies gang went and saw Speed.
Oh, that's cute.
And it was because of this movie, watching this for the first time, I knew what on the edge of your seat action when you see that advertised, this is on this edge of your seat thriller.
Yes,
I knew exactly what they talked about after this movie. Like I was on the edge of my seat, and still I love it. I still am on the edge of my seat.
And it's I agree. I think it controls the momentum of the action exceptionally well.
Yeah,
like it never feels like
there's no slog. Absolutely
there's
no
no downtime.
Exactly.
And there's no. Do you know when you're watching action movies and you're like, this is the bit. This is this bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
this is when we have to go back and recoup.
This is when we do this bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that feeling.
Exactly.
It just feels like 3 long bits.
Yeah.
One of them longer than the others. The bus bit is the longest bit. But it just feels like one long, gradually increasing in stakes section. Yeah. Which is very effective, I think.
Yeah. It does it really well.
Does it really well?
It really does it well.
And also because... it actually fills a lot of it, I think, is due to the fact that it fills its supporting cast with really
good characters.
definable characters. Yeah,
absolutely.
Really
I love
exceptionally,
them. You really get
like rich characters.
Yeah,
considering
even from the elevator, you have characters in that elevator.
Agree. I really like that.
Yeah.
It's the
thanks for Tys for pushing that button.
Yeah,
the lights on, but you're not really sure that it's
the guy
working.
from fucking. It's the guy that shits his pants in Mulholland Drive when he goes to walk around the corner and there's the homeless man.
Yeah,
the scene that will forever haunt my nightmares.
You love these characters, and especially once the hostages get off the bus. If you haven't seen Speed, you suck.
Spoilers for Speed. Has anyone in their lifetime actually just not seen Speed? Is that possible?
If you haven't seen Speed, I want you to just write a little one-word thing. Just say I have not in the Facebook post. In one post, I have not. That's
weird. I
want you to put that on there
because this movie was huge.
This was massive. Huge. This thing did tons of money, Tys.
It wasn't particularly expensive to make either.
But yeah, what was this? Once the hostages get off the bus, you feel for them, man. Once Cameron from Ferris Bueller, he falls and you're like, no, Cameron.
He's Alan Ruck. Is that his name? Alan Ruck?
Alan Ruck, yeah.
He's an interesting character because at the beginning he's presented as being like he could easily be the he could easily be. You're exactly right. Who I think he's going to turn out to be is the yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Yeah,
like. I feel like that's how he could end up being, like the real kind of like
this man has no dick.
He just will sit there and just be like,
no, I'm not fucking helping.
No, I'm gonna and you kind of
don't
end up on his phone like telling Dennis somehow like when they're like you don't use the phones because Dennis Hopper's tapping our phones and he's like
I'm gonna
use my phone anyway. Like he's
not
brand new.
Mobiles,
well, I was about to say he's brand new like portable phone. Yeah. Like that's how you could easily paint him that way because he starts off as being kind of annoying and frustrating, but by the end and there's the bit where Goliath hugs him when he gets back on the bus, and I'm like, I found myself actually like moved by it.
Exactly.
And I'm like, how the fuck have these characters with like less than 5 lines each? Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
How have they endeared to me so much?
Yeah.
How have they become that way? And I'm like, that's
well done.
Very
that's
effective.
Good directing
and that's
and good
hard
writing.
to do, man. Really hard to do. I think Alan Ruck's best moment is do you know how hard it would be? Like, but they sell this dialogue, and I was actually thinking in my head as like, this would be really hard to make seem effective. The bit where he has to recount what Keanu Reeves is seeing under the bus.
Yeah. There's a pretty big wad.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, that's tough work. You're doing that really well. And then it's completed by one of the funnier lines, which is the fuck me.
And he goes,
oh darn.
Yeah.
Which is a really like, it's a perfectly endearing moment.
The reactions in this movie, like, if you're thinking about it, how would they have shot? Like, they got all of these people in a bus and drove them around, but they're reacting to all the things that I wrote down that I get to later, like heavy traffic, traffic on the wrong side of the road. Yep. You know, all of these school kids. You have to react to these things in a way that these actors do. They're doing their job really well, and especially Sandra motherfucking Bullock, man, she rocks this film.
She was upon watching it again.
Yeah,
I think I realized that she was my favorite thing. Yeah, my favorite thing in this film. Yeah, like Dennis Hopper's doing a really kind of unhinged, crazy villain thing. Yeah, and that's fine. Yeah, he does that really well. Yeah, Keanu's just kind of being Keanu. I feel like
he's kind of under the.
It's a secret Point Break sequel. I feel like this could be because they feel really similar to me.
They do a little bit. Jack Traven's got a little bit more of his head screwed on than what was his name?
What's his name in Point Break? It's not Bodie. Bodie's Patrick Swayze, isn't it?
It's a name. It's like Dean Rudabaugh.
Oh, it's Johnny Utah.
Johnny Utah. Utah. Give me 2. Oh, fucking yes. Utah.
Yeah. So Utah is probably a little bit more kind of more of a live wire than
Jack Traven.
Jack Traven. But I think they're very like this was before Keanu. I think realized that there's kind of levels.
Some acting that you need to be doing.
Yeah. Because
totally.
Keanu, it takes me a while to warm to Keanu in this film.
Really?
Yeah. I like him a lot, but in the elevator
scene, he's a little bit of a prick.
But
he's kind of a little bit.
Think about how he's introduced. Yeah. They get air over the hill.
I love that scene.
And just pull up and jump out like fucking dick swinging. And I'm like, yeah, these guys.
So hang on a minute. So how old were we when we were in 1994? How old were we?
12 years old.
12 years old, right? So because my just a bit more insight to Nick on the Nick Tice version. My dad is a cop.
All right.
So I thought he went to work like this every day. It just crack. It just slams the car
I
down.
love
It
that
just walks up to
they
a
don't
scene.
They don't even like park.
No,
they just drive.
drive up
So
and
they've just done some fucking. They might as well have done doughies around the corner
I love it
and
so
just
much.
swung
It's
in.
my favourite.
They jump out. He's chewing gum like
Yeah.
it's fucking nothing. They
So
chuck on the
good.
vest and it's like, yeah, what do we
Yeah,
got?
let's do it.
So
Harry wants to take apart the bomb. Oh, Jeff.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeff. Was it Jeff?
Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels. Do you feel Jeff Daniels is right for this role?
It's an odd choice
It's an odd
for the
choice,
role,
isn't
but I
it?
think
He does well, I
Jeff
think.
Daniels is rarely the wrong choice. Do you know what I mean? He's one of
Yeah,
those actors
good
that's
point.
like, do you know what? If
He
you want to
can
make a
do it.
choice, just make the choice and make it Jeff Daniels
Yeah,
because 9 times out of 10
You'll
you've
be
made the
fine.
right choice.
You'll be fine. Yeah, exactly.
And this is kind of part of one of the more interesting aspects of this film, I think.
Yeah.
Is that Keanu Reeves is constantly presented as the less intelligent of
the
two people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this, go on.
And which I think actually adds to his interest as a character, is that he is constantly forced to maybe punch above his weight a little bit.
Yeah.
So he's in a situation that I don't think he's
Keanu Reeves you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he is the brightest tool in the shed.
Yeah.
Like, that's
He's
not
more
even
of
the
a-
fucking sound. That's not even the same. But, the sharpest tool?
Sharpest
That's the
tool.
one. Brightest
Brightest
tool?
bulb.
Brightest bulb.
Bright bulb.
There we go.
Yeah.
But that's what makes him interesting to me is that he, despite that,
Yeah.
is still able to figure out
what to
a
do,
lot
yeah.
of what is going on.
Absolutely.
And that I think that's a really clever way of putting us on his side.
Yeah.
Making him a vulnerable protagonist.
Yeah.
By Jeff Daniels, he always asks Jeff
He's got
Daniels
his
for his
friend there
advice.
always, yeah.
You've got Dennis Hopper constantly calling out his intelligence.
Yeah.
How he's saying you've lost the smart one, or I'm smarter than you, and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So that's
I
that's
just
a
feel-
clever way to do that.
I agree with you on that point. It's just that for some reason, for me, out of all the characters in this, and Keanu is the main character, his arc doesn't go anywhere, Tys. He doesn't get. There's not a clear thing that he doesn't get
he
smarter,
doesn't change.
or he doesn't think ahead of time. Unfortunately, and spoilers, he just fixes it with more speed. He goes,
in both cases, in the bus and the train. Yeah.
We're just going to go faster and fuck it.
We're going to go faster and hope for the best.
Exactly.
Yeah, do you know?
So I don't. That's the only thing that I didn't like about
But do we
Jack
need?
Traven's character.
Do we need
an arc?
Do we need him to grow in an action film? Like,
but that's the thing with this movie.
because in certain we're not like let's not fuck around with it. It's Die Hard on a bus. Like
is,
this is what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
I think we might have talked about this last week. It's part of the trend of the Die Hard on a something.
Yeah.
Die Hard on a
Yeah, that's
boat
true.
is under siege.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
we got a ton of these.
Yeah.
And this is Die Hard on a bus. And
Time Cop is Die Hard in the future.
Die Hard. Is there a Die Hard in space? There must be a Die Hard in space.
There's got to be a Die Hard in space. Space Cowboys? Is that Die Hard in space
No.
with old bastards doing?
It's not. Do you know that Lockout movie with Guy
yeah,
Pearce?
Lockout.
That's kind
Is
of
that
Die
kind of
Hard in space. But it's also it got sued for being too much like Escape from New York.
That's hilarious. Really?
Anyway, yeah, because it's essentially the same plot.
Little
But
tidbit. That's hilarious.
okay,
go.
so but let's think about John McClane in the first Die Hard. Does he have an arc?
He totally has an arc, doesn't he?
No, he's just John McClane, who's a fucking badass.
He's a badass.
Yeah, and he just bees.
He's just himself.
He just exists
He's
as
just himself,
a badass.
and everyone else moves around him.
If anything, his arc is
doesn't he make
him with Holly?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But,
He'd make peace with Holly.
We've got that with Sandra Bullock, because I actually think, and I made a note, I actually really think their love story is exceptionally well handled.
I love it. I
because
really do,
because it
it's
is
kind of
incrementally
nice.
developed.
And it's not. You don't have that moment of something's happening.
No.
You don't have that at all.
No.
You know.
You just and it's not even like two hot people meeting at the start. You go, they're clearly going to bang. It's just after a little while, they both soften to each other.
Yeah.
And they both realize that they're capable human beings.
Yeah.
And then it goes from there. And then there's little moments like when he's about to go under the bus to check the bomb, or when he's on that weird ramp
She looks
stuff.
back, yeah.
And they both look at each other before he's about to go under, and they don't say anything. They don't change their face in any way. It's just they make eye contact, and then he goes, and you go, and you realize that it's a very natural development what they're feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that and you believe
it's chemistry that's just
Yeah.
letting it go,
Yeah.
and you don't need
I think
dialogue
it's
for
great.
it to happen.
I think it's really well
It's
handled.
very rare, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and it works.
And I almost put it all on Sandra Bullock's
really?
shoulders. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think she is...
If it wasn't for her, I don't think this movie would work.
No, I
really don't.
would almost agree with you 100%.
Yeah, because I had to write it down. If I love that she drives the bus. Think of her not driving the bus. Like, do you know what I mean? If she was just a passenger,
yeah.
that wouldn't work.
No.
It's such a great story,
which is really funny because
that she drives the bus.
Well, this is in so many times in my head I've been like,
why wouldn't Jack take over?
Someone else would have taken over.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Someone more capable.
Basically,
someone who's driven a
just
bus
basically,
before.
It's like you would have put the call out.
Has anyone
driven heavy machinery? And you can't tell me Goliath has not driven a fucking truck.
Fuck yes, exactly. That's where I go to. Yeah.
And he'd put up his hand. He's like,
I'll take over.
I drove dump trucks.
Yeah.
At least once in my life.
Yeah.
You know. And you'd be like, jump on.
Cool, jump in.
Yeah, jump in.
We'll switch out Sandra.
Because as soon as she says, I lost my license, you'd be like, it's not like, hey, you're an idiot. It's just basically, it's basically just like, oh look, we might just see if there's someone who's got any experience driving a large machinery.
Exactly.
You don't have your license at the moment. I know it's not the biggest deal in the world because our life depends on this, and you're not going to get fined for it. But Goliath, he drove big rigs for a little while.
Yeah,
let's put him on.
He might have a better idea of where to push the bus.
Yeah,
that might help a bit better.
He's probably handled a steering wheel that is this size before.
Massive,
you know, blah blah blah.
Exactly,
blah.
exactly.
But you know, that's truth getting in the way of a good yarn because it just works. She needs to be driving it. Yeah, and I like that she is. I like that she is very capable in that role. Like it's never. They never introduced the plot point. Oh, the girl was driving and fucked it up.
Yeah,
which I think is excellent.
Yes.
Like because that's a level that we don't want to deal with.
We don't need to.
She's very capable. She drives exceptionally well. She's always like we never have that moment of like.
I feel like watching Speed again.
That's a good sign.
Because we're talking about it so much. Yeah, go. Yeah.
So yeah, and like she's fucking great. Like
she's really good, isn't she?
I feel like I've always loved Sandra Bullock.
Me too.
But I don't tend to watch a lot of her movies because I feel like she makes choices that in movies that I'm just kind of not about.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to watch all about Steve. Like you know what I mean? Like that's just not for me. I've seen some of The Proposal because it's been on the television, and I like Ryan Reynolds. I like Sandra Bullock. I'll watch a scene.
You would have seen Gravity anyway. I would have
seen Gravity. Whoever was in it.
But you're not going to see, even though she won the Oscar for it, you're not going to see Blindside. You've seen Blindside?
Yeah, I've seen Blindside.
I didn't want to see Blindside because
she's wonderful in it. It's not a good movie, but she is incredibly good in it.
That is a raw. That movie should.
And that's part of it.
But yeah, I can't watch. But I
really watching this again, and then you go back and watch something like Demolition Man. And she's
the movie that opened me up to Sandra Bullock.
She's so much more charming than she has any right to be in a film like that, because this is a movie about Stallone and Wesley Snipes punching each other, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And this side character who plays a cop that just happens to be around.
And just
she's not even really like a love interest, really.
No, not at all.
I mean, they make out at some point, but
she's at the end.
But that's not the point. She's the token kind of just, you guys kiss at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
But she's just there. She's basically playing the same role that fucking what's his name?
Go on.
From The Animal and Deuce Bigelow.
Rob Schneider.
She's basically playing what Rob Schneider's role is just the
female version.
She's just there to provide some giggles and be a bit of a kind of show him around the traps kind of surrogate.
Yeah.
But she's fucking the most charming thing in that movie. Yeah. Like she's amazing.
She's amazing, and she does comedy really fucking well.
Yeah, I agree.
I love The Heat. I think The Heat is one of my favorite fucking movies.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was
good. It's because of her that there's not doing a Heat 2. She's like, it was lightning in a bottle. We're just going to leave it, which is fine.
She's also in one of the only films that I ever walked out of in a cinema.
Oh!
Which is Miss Congeniality Part 2.
Oh, well, why the fuck did you go and see that at the cinema, Tyson?
It was when I worked at the cinema. It was free.
Oh, you bastard.
We sat down with our popcorn and drink. We watched about 25 minutes and we both looked at each other and went,
pass.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I almost had that moment in Man of Steel.
Oh, wow. I at least sat through the end of that.
All four of us looked at each other and just
bitch
went,
and moan about it.
We are fucking done here. We are done.
I wanted to be able to bitch and moan like legally, because it's like one of those things where it's like, you didn't even watch it. You didn't even watch it.
It was awesome at the end. Oh, fuck off! What was there? A blue light coming out of the sky? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, but it was real cool though.
Yeah, you're
a good one.
Go sit in your fucking ute, you fucking bastard. I don't know. So, Tys, one thing that this doing this podcast made me look up.
Sure.
I've never known how fast 50 miles per hour is in kilometers per hour.
5 miles per hour. I want to say about 80-ish.
Well done.
Yeah.
It's 80 miles per hour or 81
kilometers.
Yeah.
81 kilometers an hour. It's pretty quick.
That's pretty fucking fast for a
Yeah.
bus, man. That's fast.
Yeah. I like that it I like there's that scene where it's creeping up on is it 55 or 50?
No, it's 50. The bus hits 50 miles. It was such a thing. Everyone.
Why am I thinking of 55? What was 55?
You're thinking of 88 miles per hour?
Maybe.
It's to travel back in time?
Yeah.
Gotta get back in time. Do.
But what's funny is that scene, watching it incrementally creep up,
and then
like,
slow down once he's gone past it.
And I'm like, that's a really great scene, because even though I know what this movie's about, and I know that he does it, I'm still sitting there going, don't do it, don't do it, slow the fuck
And how many
down,
times have you
man.
fucking seen this movie?
I've seen this movie 100 times, and I even caught myself being like, you're an idiot.
Yeah. No, don't do that.
This
Go
is the
along with the
movie.
ride.
This is the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, exactly.
And
I
I'm still
love it.
sitting there like, oh, Sam. Is it Sam, the bus driver?
Yeah,
I like Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
He
gets shot.
Oh, poor Sam.
Poor guy.
Yeah. How do you feel? I feel like I just got shot.
God,
Good line.
I love it. This thing, by the way, I'm just going to bring up. So, Graham Yost. Do you know who that is, Tyson?
Yeah, man. I do know this. He wrote this.
He did, but he...
He also created one of my favorite television shows of all time.
Oh, which is...
Justified.
I was going to say 2.5 Men. No?
No, Justified was one of those shows that I'd heard was excellent, and I was like, I'll give it a crack. And
I had immediately...
mate, it is something else.
It's on my list. It's on my list.
It's really great.
But Graham Yost has publicly said that 98% of this script was written by one Joss Whedon. Yeah.
So...
Which... gives me hope for Justice League.
No. Joss Whedon is excellent at what he does. Like I've never doubted that. Like,
absolutely.
And this is not the only story of Joss Whedon doctoring certain scripts to make it amazing. Like it happens now and then. You do hear it. Something like Toy Story 2.
Mm-hmm. So good.
But Graham Yost, knowing what he's capable of.
Yeah.
I don't think like he. The dialogue I get feels kind of Joss Whedon-y, because there's a lot of snappiness to it. There's a lot of
it's sharp. It's good.
It is very sharp.
It needs to be.
And it works. It definitely works. But the story, the concept, the beats. I wouldn't put it past Graham Yost having a big part in that, because I feel like one of the things from Justified that I got is that he's exceptional at pace.
Nice.
Yeah, Justified is one of those shows that never feels like there's a dud episode.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I love that. But yeah, the reason that I bring it up is because this thing they just hit every single obstacle that you would get on like driving. You hit heavy traffic, driving on the wrong side of the road. My favorite, which is hitting the pram.
Oh, that's a great moment.
Everyone watches
that's a
that
really
scene
effective moment.
Oh, so good.
And so unnecessary for any kind of story element.
Absolutely.
But it just gives
perfect.
It just gives you another reason to put your fucking heart in your throat for a second.
Absolutely.
But
yeah, the school
cans. It's cans.
It's cans. Are you sure? The cans. No, it's cans. It's fine.
Love it.
But yeah, the school kids, the sharp corner. I just love that sharp. Everyone.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we're going to tip over. We're going to tip over.
We are going to.
You're right. We're going to tip over. And he gets everyone out of the. So good. That, and then the very famous gap in the highway, which was totally made up on set, and then the gas leak, which I love. I love all of these things.
Yeah, the gas leak is the only one that frustrates me, because I know
it just puts a little bit. For me, I feel I would have liked it a little bit more on the public road, the bus on the public road, before we turn off onto the.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
The airport.
What I find really interesting is that for every time that I've seen this, I still go, oh, that's a good idea, when they turn onto the airport runway, because do you know what I mean? Like I don't automatically. I watch because I get engaged in it. I'm watching it going, yeah, fuck. Oh man, traffic. Oh yeah, this is when he's, and then I goes, oh, of course he goes into the airport. That's smart. You know what I mean? And in my head, I keep thinking, because obviously we are Melbourne born and bred.
Yeah.
I'm like, how would I get into
Tullamarine is
Tullamarine?
fucking ages
How the
away.
fuck would I get into it? And I'm like, so no, because there's that really annoying bit where you got to pick, do you want long-term parking or do you want to pick up drop-off? I'm like, how do you get to the runway? Because it seems really easy.
It's
they
so
just bust
funny.
through one
Yeah.
gate and they're on the runway. I'm
That's
like,
so
I don't
funny.
reckon that would happen at all at Tullamarine. I reckon I'd get shot before I got anywhere near that runway.
Yeah, you would now.
There would just be fucking security guards with fucking machine guns just
Yeah.
mowing down the bus.
Which is, to be honest, if you're gonna go anywhere with a bomb, the airport is the worst fucking
Terrible
place to
idea.
go. Oh, I'm gonna smash. I just thought of it. I'm gonna smash your Tullamarine idea.
Right.
There's an airport right before Tullamarine, which is it Essendon Airport?
Oh, it's small.
It's small
yeah.
one, and you could just loop that, Tys. You'll be
Well,
fine.
I mean, there are many other ways we could just loop stuff.
Such as,
We could go to.
I love that this is where this is gone.
You could go to Albert Park.
Oh, you go to
and
Albert
you
Park.
could jump on the raceway.
That's true. Oh, well done.
That would be. That's where I'd probably. It's pretty far away from.
It is a bit, and to get to Albert Park, I used to
Oh,
work
it'd
in
be a
Albert Park.
nightmare.
That is a fucking
Hunt
that is
Road.
a
Don't even
cunt.
think about it. You're not
That is
going
a
80
mad
miles, 80
bastard.
kilometers
You're
at
not going
any
anywhere.
point.
You're going anywhere. Fuck that. Fuck that.
Yeah,
that's
no,
funny.
fair call.
Yeah,
fair call. I'm just
Okay.
trying to think if there's any.
You could maybe circle the G, circle the MC. Could you circle the MCG?
I don't think you'd get up the speed to go around it. Like, I think by the time you'd be doing the sharp turn,
Yeah.
you're
nuts.
You
You're
wouldn't
gone.
be fast enough.
Yeah, fair deal.
Um,
Because that's where it was. Instead of an airport, it was actually written into they go into a stadium and circle the stadium. And
yeah, I
then
just
they
don't. I
didn't
feel like
get the rights to the stadium. Well, they didn't.
Yeah, I just don't think you'd because.
Why would you think that? Why would you go like?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
And
Yeah.
you'd need somewhere with far more girth. That's the word I'm choosing to use right now.
Awesome.
Anyway, that's just
That was a bit of a
Speed in
tangent.
Australia.
I did love it. What didn't work for you, Tyson? Because I can tell you what didn't work for me.
yeah, go for it, man.
Once they get off the bus has to explode. I didn't like I didn't like that it exploded into a plane.
But they took careful consideration to make sure that you knew it was a freight plane because they had
Yeah, I
in the
knew
biggest
that.
letters on the side.
I knew that.
Freight.
But if anything, drive it to the end of the fucking. Aim it to the end of the runway, and just let it slow down and blow up. Because it's not going to keep going 50.
Yeah,
Oh no, it is
well,
going to keep going 50 because
They need to get a bit of
thing is on the
clearance
pedal.
from it.
The
Yeah,
pedal, it's
yeah,
still on the
yeah.
pedal. Right. All I'm saying is that plane would have cost a lot to blow
Yeah.
up. You know?
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. In my head, I was trying to think, and I was like, okay, so ideally, you'd want it to get it up to like 100,
Right.
then make your escape,
Sure.
and then
Or
over the
put it in
time
the
it would
water or
take
something?
to slow down. Yeah, head for a lake, maybe.
Head for a lake?
Yeah, that's not bad thinking. Is there a lake in an airport?
Probably not.
But what I guess time was a factor.
It totally was.
'Cause they're
And to be
like,
honest,
who knows?
they wanted to blow up the bus that they've been with the bomb on it in a big explosion, and they did
and
it
tell
bigger
you
than
what, that explosion is legit.
'Cause they did it for
man.
real,
That
baby.
is fucking.
Fuck yeah.
That's a good looking explosion.
Even the first bus that which
Oh,
I
yeah, it's
love.
great.
I love that little interaction with the bus driver that he
Yeah,
knows
yeah,
and
yeah,
things like
it's
that. And
lovely.
then it's such a beautiful cliche, a movie cliche, but I still love it whenever it fucking happens.
Yeah.
If something were to happen to me on the street, and this is just my head because of films, if something were to happen to me on the street and then a public phone starts to ring, I would pick it up and go, what do I need to do? Where do I need to go? You know,
Yeah.
what's going on? You know, I
I'd
need to
suddenly
do
just
this.
be like, oh my god, am I in Die Hard with a Vengeance
I am
right
Die Hard
now?
with a Vengeance. Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Simon Says, you know.
Yeah.
I would have to do that. So yeah, that doesn't work for me. The other thing that doesn't really work.
I forgive it because I think it's a really great explosion, and I think we kind of needed the big
need
finale.
it, yeah.
So I'm kind of
You're okay with it?
it's just kind of like whatever. You forgive it because what else? What else are you gonna
Because
do?
it's awesome.
What else are you gonna
Because
do?
it's speed and it's
drive it into a
awesome.
lake. They're in an airport.
Come on. Well, maybe they could drive it to the airport in heat where there's all those the freight canisters. I don't know.
What?
Drive it to a pier. I don't fucking know. The other thing I didn't like was the train sequence just doesn't sit with me. Only because, do you know why? When okay, so they're going to give the money to Dennis Hopper. They've put a bug in the money so they knows when it moves.
Yep.
Why isn't the bug turned fucking on yet?
It's really dumb.
That's the biggest hole for me.
We got eyes on the can. It's like
That's fine. What if he
just turn it on at any point? What, like,
why not just turn it on?
Does it actually beep or something?
Yeah.
Is that what you're worried about?
Are you
that he's going to
saving
hear
battery?
it? You're worried about
fucking
battery?
moron?
Yeah, it's
Fuck
dumb.
off.
It's
That's the
real
only
dumb.
thing I don't like.
But this is, it gives us the opportunity to have another moment of Jack being smarter than everybody.
Yeah.
In that one
That's
moment.
true.
And
Yeah,
I'm
there
kind
you
of
go.
like, but by that point, I'm a bit done with that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, as a character, he's very effective, but it amazes me that no one else thinks of some of the things he thinks of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's
we're
true.
talking about, like, the elite squad of
Bomb squad.
LAPD cops here. Like, not one of them thought of that.
Yeah.
Like,
not one of them thought to maybe check the freight elevators at the fucking start.
He's surrounded by idiots.
Oh,
Is
no,
basically what we're talking about.
That was
Jeff Daniels did actually
that.
suggest
He
the
did
freight
that, yeah.
elevators, didn't he?
That's true. He did.
Or did he? No, he was led there. He
By
was led
Keanu.
there because Keanu was saying that he'd
He'd have to be
here.
mobile. He'd have to be
He'd
here.
have to be here because because he jumped the gun. And I'm like, I feel like that's protocol. If at any point you're at a thing and you get a time limit and then you start fucking around and a bomb goes off,
Yeah.
everyone in that room goes, well, he's obviously here
He's
because he
here.
saw us fucking around.
Exactly.
Like, it's not their first day on the job. You know what I mean? Like, they've been doing this for a while. Jeff Daniels has been doing this
He's
for a
been doing it
while,
for a while.
clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's the stuff. Yeah, they're obviously trying to make Jack a smart, like deceptively smart person,
Absolutely.
and I'm kind of like, I don't know if I need that. I'm happy with him being a reactionary character.
He is. He's
like
an
he's
action
he's
junkie.
the guy that just he jumps to action when required. You know, he doesn't have to be the smartest guy in the world, but he'll make the choice and he'll do what might be the risky decision, but it pays off because it's an action movie and
Absolutely.
it has to pay off.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's John McClane, man.
Exactly.
John McClane is not the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
Like Alan Rickman, Hans Gruber is the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
Like
Seriously.
John McClane just happens to be able to make a few choices that win the day for him.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Exactly.
But sit him down with a fucking Trivial Pursuit. Hans Gruber's winning. You know what I mean?
Sit him down with a Trivial Pursuit. The guy's got fucking nothing.
He's got no chance.
He's got nothing.
And this is the kind of situation I feel like we're in here.
Yeah.
But this movie is almost afraid to let that be the case.
Yeah.
And that kind of... Yeah, I don't know if I'm on board 100% with that.
Fair deal.
And it also, what makes me really sad is the way Jeff Daniels goes as well.
yeah.
Spoilers for Speed. The way Jeff Daniels
I
dies
don't
horribly.
Like it. Dies horribly.
Spoilers for Speed.
Spoilers for Speed. I don't like it either. It's not given its due.
I don't think he gets
it's
his.
Just,
I don't think because he has proven himself to be so incredibly good at his job. And
I would
so
rather
very
one of
smart.
those. The Rock. You remember that moment in The Rock where they're in the canister and he with the bomb at the start. I'd rather oh my god, we're gonna do it with the bomb and then boom and then I'd rather
because to me, he's been doing this so long, he wouldn't just walk in there.
Yeah.
They would be scanning that place. They would know that he is a very effective bomb maker.
Yeah.
So they would be like, okay, well, he's probably
so
rigged up his
careful.
house because
he's a bomb maker.
Because he's a bomb maker.
Yeah.
He
You're not
wouldn't
just going to find
he's
him at
not
a
just
laptop.
gonna yeah, that's just what I think they think is going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
Are they just going to walk in and he's going to be sitting there with his fucking HQ set up all around him with a fucking
Commodore
Slurpee
64.
having typing away.
Yeah.
Like, no, they need to be fucking infrared scanning this place and being like, all right, well, we don't know if we're getting set up here. We actually found this address maybe a little bit easier than we thought we would have. So let's be really
He put
cautious.
the watch there for a reason.
He put the watch, so he's leading.
think.
Like, obviously, we know now that he's an ex-cop, but he used the watch. He knew that cops would notice the watch.
Yep.
That's also part of it that I find really interesting because they use the watch to find him, but nobody says,
Maybe he put that-
he's either a big idiot, which we know he's not, or he's
Clearly
trying to
put that
let us
watch there
know
for a reason.
who he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So let's just let's just fucking put the brakes on storming into his house.
Yeah.
Because, everything so far that has happened, Jeff Daniels has proven himself to be very capable. And so I find that a little odd that he just kind of fucking gung-ho goes in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Although I do love his moment where he sees the thing beep and his face.
And he knows.
It's a wonderful
done.
little moment for Jeff Daniels
done.
because his face just drops and you're just like, oh, he's going up. He's going up like a fucking Christmas tree. It's great.
Absolutely. I do like that Howard Payne is just a crazy domestic white terrorist.
Yes, true.
Very fucking rare.
True.
Very fucking rare.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And I do like that he only asked for 3.7 million.
He's got a very specific kind of, I just want to live comfortably for the rest of my life. That's all I want. I just want to buy a house. I want to be able to pay my bills.
Exactly.
And maybe
I'll buy
a nice television and a car.
Exactly. Maybe eat out every Friday night.
Every Friday.
Not
I'm
every
gonna
night.
I'm gonna get
just every Friday because
a tasty fish and chips every Friday night, and I don't want to make it myself.
Exactly.
Because 3.7 mil, even back then,
it's not that
that's
much.
not a lifetime supply.
Yeah.
He's
not
not running off.
10.
Yeah, he's not running off to Rio.
No, he's not going to
and
Tahiti and living the high life.
There's no way.
No.
3.7 mil, you get maybe 5 years of that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you're not working.
Yeah.
And he's not working.
He's not working.
He's not going to then also, do some little tidy bar work on the side.
Or fix up boats for people or something. No.
Yeah.
This guy's angry.
I'm really good with electronics. So
I'll fix your VCR.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
No,
yeah, it's a really
not at all.
But this is, I think they're trying to kind of present him as, it's not like the noble villain because they're not going that far. But you think of like Ed Harris in The Rock. We've talked about Rock a bit already, where he's like legitimately presented as the noble villain, like the one that makes you actually think.
Which you don't think at the start in that movie. You think he's full bad guy.
This is this is why it's Michael Bay's best movie.
Yeah,
by a fucking long shot. By a fuck ton. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But so I think they're trying to kind of not make him seem reasonable, but make him seem like he has certain kind of ethics.
Yeah.
Well,
he was a cop.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, nah. Like, I think it's more effective just making him a cop that just fucking lost his mind completely. Yeah. Because
Totally agree with you.
Yeah, it's the 3.7 mil thing, and the way he's so like this when I'm watching it the second time, because when you watch movies a bunch of times, and the specifics become kind of irrelevant. Yeah, it's like I've seen LA Confidential so many times, but I can't tell you exactly what happens at the end.
Sent them to which parts? Yeah. Yes,
so that's what everyone says. What's it about? I'm like, it's something to do with like cops and prostitutes. And corrupt cops. And like, what do you mean? I'm like, you just got to watch it.
Because I don't know.
Because I'm not going to be able to... what's his name? Rollo Tomasi. I'm not going to be able to write out a blueprint to tell you how they got from what to what and the whole scheme. I'm not going to be able to tell you that. It's just, it's about the experience of watching it. This is one of those things where at the end, I can't tell you the specifics of what he wanted, right, and what his plan was. I just know that he put a bomb on a bus. Yeah. So watching it again, and then it being, he actually puts a heavy emphasis on his money.
Yeah, he really does.
You watch it and you think
about the money.
It feels like it's one of those things where the money is irrelevant. Like he says it's this figure, but it's actually a revenge thing. Yeah. Or it's actually like he's going to set this up so that it's about the money, but he's going to disappear because he's actually super wealthy and it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
He actually
does
just
care
needs
about the money.
Because he gets so upset when there's the
my money.
I'm like, as if they weren't gonna do that, man. What are you thinking?
Seriously,
that's like step one
he
for this
changed
shit.
Bags, like, I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Yeah. He's so as a villain, he's effective, but also kind of not.
Yeah, he's got a thumbs up, thumbs down.
Well, he's only got one. So you did very well there. That was very good.
That was good. That was very
I remember
good.
every time. And this is
that.
the first time I've actually noticed how much effort they put into like fucking up his hand.
Yeah.
Like they did a really good job makeup wise.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Way to go, Jack. Way to go. I fucking love that bit. And the bit where he's just, this is totally random. It's just a shot of him and he's looking at his TVs, which he doesn't even have. No laptop, Tyson. He's looking at 4 different televisions. That's it. And he's got a radio and a phone. I love it. Old school terrorism.
Look, it is.
Terrible.
Back in my
day, terrorism just worked with a fucking television and a VCR. But yeah, he's just looking at, and he's watching American football game, and he's like, yeah, all right. Oh, it's so funny.
He should be paying attention because he got stooged by the fucking loop the recording trick.
Yeah.
Oldest trick in the book.
Oldest trick in the book. Carl, one thing I wanted to wrap up. Sure. We've talked about this enough.
We need to wrap up.
Yeah,
it's been a long episode.
It's been long enough. Could you do this movie today, Tyson?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because the one thing that I do love, the reason I get every time I watch this movie is the 90s action has a feeling that I can't put my finger. It has this. It's Die Hard with a Vengeance, which we've done.
Mm-hmm.
It's Terminator 2.
Yeah.
It's that LA. I don't know.
It has a
feel and a look to it.
It definitely has
Yeah.
it has a. This word might irritate some people.
Yeah.
It has a moisture to it. Do you know what I mean?
I love that word.
It's sweatiness.
Yeah.
You feel
that-
the heat, the LA
It's
heat.
that yellow,
Yeah.
orange heat. Yeah, it's amazing.
And
But
look, that's really effective. And like if you can pull that off,
yeah, I don't think anyone has
Power to you.
since.
Well, I just don't think it's a thing anymore.
No, but I think there's a reason it's not, especially because the action movies that I just spoke about in that time of the 90s were fun. We had a lot more fun back then, I feel,
good point.
and the world has changed since, obviously 9/11, but the world has changed since these movies. And,
we don't tend to have as much fun with our action movies
Our terrorists
anymore.
are taken very, very fucking seriously now.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm not saying they shouldn't be taken seriously. I'm just saying that.
Although, like, I wouldn't
these
say
are
this movie
movies
has humor, but it has. You're right. It's fun.
Yeah.
But it's not funny.
But it's not funny.
That's
no.
a difference. I think we can take it one way or the other. I think it's hard for us to enjoy violence anymore on just a purely fun level.
Yeah.
I think we can have action movies that are funny.
Yeah.
But
like if you were to take a bomb on a bus today to the airport,
yeah,
that's not
it's
getting through. You're not
about,
getting any through any
Yeah.
script. They're going to cut you off at the.
yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
Actually, you're right. Yeah, I think if it was made today, it would have a very different atmosphere to it. I think it would be gritty, real. Like
It'd be like you've just done.
Alan Rick's character just is gone completely.
Yeah, everyone's got a phone. Everyone's tweeting and fucking
Yeah.
and video recording everything, and it's the switch. It's going from Die Another Day to Casino Royale. That's what I'm going to compare it to.
Very cool.
Yeah,
that covers it, I think.
but yeah, I love
very
this
effective
movie.
film.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good on. I like that Keanu Reeves stars in this film
Yeah, absolutely.
because I'm a big Keanu Reeves fan, but I think the guy has had to do it pretty tough in the sense of finding his strengths.
Strengths.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think he's found his. I think, to be honest,
He knows where he is now. Like
I think now we're getting
he's
peak Keanu
100%.
now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think he's really hit his strides. But you got like back then you did sure he had Point Break, but he also had like Dracula not too far around from this.
Exactly.
What else did he have around this time?
He had
Johnny Mnemonic.
Johnny Mnemonic was the one straight after Speed.
Yeah, and see like so.
Yeah. And then Chain Reaction.
Yeah,
remember
see,
that?
like he really.
I know you know that cover.
Yeah, I know that. I know that cover well. He's lucky to have kind of got where he did because he's had a few really good ones, but I wouldn't even see Keanu is excellent in this film. He's just Keanu.
No, it's just Keanu.
He's fucking Keanu
which is
all
fine.
over the place.
Which is fine.
And it works, but we're lucky. I think we're lucky because we've got a very specific screen presence out of him that I think certain people were willing to kind of take a risk on.
Yeah.
And I think we're all the better for it because
Do you know what Keanu I love?
What?
Which is it's Keanu not being Keanu.
Yeah.
It's The Gift.
Oh, I like that. Yeah,
2000.
no, you're right.
He
Backwater
is
crazy.
Backwater crazy, and he is a scary Keanu.
He is really scary
Yeah,
in
he
that.
does
He's great.
really well in that.
I really like him in Man of Tai Chi, a film that he directed.
Oh, I still
which is
haven't
a
seen
martial
that.
arts
Yeah,
film.
yeah.
Plays the villain. He's really, really effective.
Yeah.
I like Keanu a lot. And we're getting kind of character actor Keanu now, which I'm a big fan of.
Which I'm loving.
You get to see him do some really cool stuff, and of course, John Wick. I haven't seen the second one yet, but
I've got it, but I haven't watched it yet.
It's so good.
Oh, I can't wait.
I can't wait to see the second one. Yeah.
That world is insane. I love it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
So good on Jan de Bont, who we didn't talk about at all.
We didn't talk about it all. Well, he did Twister. He's written a lot of shit, and then he ended his career.
He's been a cinematographer a lot of shit.
Unfortunately, he did. He ended on Tomb Raider 2. Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Essentially, yeah. I feel like the second one was better than the first one, but that's not saying anything.
No,
that's like saying
it's
a flu is better than fucking a stomach ache.
Whooping cough, yeah.
Yeah.
Pass.
It was kind of like, I just remember, because for some reason I've seen both those films.
I have as well.
How the fuck, like,
I don't know.
and
Twister was good.
I remember hating the first one and being okay with the second one.
I saw the first one at the cinema.
Oh, no, I definitely didn't see it at the cinema. Twister's fine. Twister is not a good movie when you watch it again, but it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's pretty bad.
It's bad,
I've never seen The Haunting. What else has he done?
No.
Speed 2. I never saw Speed 2. We didn't even talk about Speed 2.
We don't need to talk about Speed 2. And to be honest, I don't want to talk about it because it's fucking awful.
It's a shame, though. Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe.
I like Willem Dafoe a lot.
I like Willem Dafoe. But yeah. Well, that was it.
Let's wrap it.
Yeah, let's wrap it.
You got a stream crossing?
I do have a stream crossing.
You got to sing it.
My stream crossing is...
Nicholas.
Yeah, I can sing it.
You need to sing the theme song first. You haven't sung it yet.
And we're crossing the streams!
Thank you.
There you go.
I refuse
You
to
refuse?
continue
Before I sing
until you sing it.
All right. Okay, well, my crossing the streams is very... It's very... This is close to my heart.
Oh, here we go. It's the big one.
For starters, this is a very recent watch.
Yep.
And I know that... I don't know whether you've seen it, Tys. It's a TV show on Stan. It's called Uncle. English? No? Okay. The reason, and I know that Tyson does the exact same thing as me, which is hilarious because we didn't know that we did this. We don't watch, if we have to eat in front of the television, which is, I don't know, most people do it, eat dinner, I can't put a movie on while I'm eating dinner.
Correct.
And Tyson is the same.
Yeah. Movies are for sitting and appreciating and taking in.
Exactly.
Not for eating dinner.
Not for eating dinner, yeah. So this quick, I think every episode goes for 20 minutes. This is the dinner watching TV series that you need to get onto. Uncle is... Uncle, yep, that's it.
Okay.
Four seasons...
Yep.
6 episodes a season.
Yeah, great.
And
I love how the British people do fucking their television series.
Seriously, man. This
Get
is
in and out, no fucking around.
On the fucking money. So it is just about a guy who's bit of a washed up muso.
Okay.
Who's still trying to punch through the barrier and make it big.
Yep.
And it starts off with him obsessing over his ex. And his sister asks him can you babysit your nephew, uncle?
Sure.
And they form a bond, this nephew and this uncle, over this I was bawling my eyes out the last episode. This thing was beautiful. Not only that, Tyson, I have not heard a catchier tune since... your favourite movie of last year. Sing Street. I have not heard a catchier tune in this. I still haven't looked it up. This song was so amazing. I don't know how it's not in the fucking hits right now. This thing is so funny because what happens is they form a band.
Cute.
And he's the writer. The uncle is the writer. Sorry, no. They collaborate writing. The kid is the writer because he's the one going through this teenage angst of all this love and why doesn't she love me and the song is which I love is the song is called I Don't Like You, I Like You, and it's so beautiful. And so my wife put me onto this, which I love her for, I want to watch it again. Like I literally do it all again. It is great. So the characters in this are beautiful. The guy who is plays the uncle he warms to you really quickly.
Who is that? Is it someone we know?
His name is
regular kind of British.
Nick Helm. I've never heard of him before.
No, I don't know that name.
He's awesome.
I might know that face.
Yeah, but yeah, he's awesome. Please watch Uncle.
And what? Where can
they can find it on Stan?
On Stan.
Yeah, on Stan. It's a Stanner. And if you are one of those people like me and Tice that you watch and you're sick of watching reruns of Archer or reruns of Modern Family, please chuck on Uncle. You really won't regret it. And my favorite character's name, which I have to mention, is Val, who is the ex-girlfriend's dad.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I do recognize his face.
Yeah.
But I can't figure out where because I don't know any of the shows that he's in.
But yeah.
Mine's also Stan.
Yep, Stanny.
We're both Stanning this week.
Yeah. Well, we're both Netflix last week.
That's a good point. I am going to talk about a movie that I actually just watched recently.
Yep.
I didn't mention in what did we watch this week? Because we were talking other things.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll kind of do a cheat. What did I watch this week? And a recommendation.
Yep.
And so on Stan, you can watch 1997's Get Shorty.
Oh.
Which was a movie I used to watch
again.
very regularly during the late 90s to early 2000s.
Yeah.
It might be my favorite John Travolta performance.
Ooh,
which
a
is
big call.
Yeah, well, because he's had so many great ones, but he's awesome in Pulp Fiction. He's awesome
gold.
in Grease.
Yep.
But this is Chili Palmer.
Chili Palmer
Is kind of...
It's another beast.
I think it's how I am going to remember John Travolta.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Because I watched this movie an absolute ridiculous amount of times. And he plays such a lovely... warming character. Like you
love
forget this John Travolta, the John Travolta that was able to have you endear himself to you so effortlately. It's really funny. You got Gene Hackman, Rene Russo, and Danny DeVito playing like a prestige actor and doing a really funny job at the way he approaches things. And
I love it.
It's got its tongue really firmly in its cheek. It kind of is, it's taking the piss out of Hollywood, but also in a very kind of loving way.
Yeah.
But it's also because I think it's an Elmore Leonard
It is an Elmore
story.
Leonard novel. Yeah.
So it's got a lot of layers. It's twisty and turny.
Yeah.
So gangster kind of. So it's violent.
Yeah.
Lots of it's got its kind of it's got its feet through both doors.
Yeah.
You get your kind of your gangster violence and your kind of Hollywood comedy.
Yeah.
And you get to bundle it all up together.
Exactly. Yeah. And they do it quite well.
They do it really, really well. This is Barry Sonnenfeld.
Sonnenfeld,
yeah. Who from like Men in Black.
Men in Black, yeah.
A couple of other things, but I would probably say this is my favorite movie of his.
I need to watch this again. I really do.
Yeah, and I chucked it on, and it was an incredibly easy watch.
Yeah.
It's really, really great. So get on it. It's on Stan if you haven't seen it. You can stay away from the sequel. Be cool.
Be cool.
From
I've
about
seen the
10
sequel.
years later.
10 years later. With The Rock.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
You don't need to watch it. It kind of weakens
It was not very
Get Shorty, to be
at
honest.
all.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's why I dislike it more, because it takes a movie I love and makes it not as good. Yeah. Get Shorty on Stan. Get on it. All right, well, that's going to wrap us up. We've talked fucking way too long tonight.
We've talked way too long.
It's going to be a long ep.
Yeah, sorry, gang.
It's okay. I don't even know if I can edit this down. I think everyone's just going to have to suck up and...
I believe in you, Tys. I know you can do anything.
That sounds really... suck up a long ep.
I believe you can do anything. But yes.
We'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That'll wrap us up. Nick, tell people where they can find us.
You can find us on iTunes. You can find us where you find podcasts, which is
Stitcher.
TuneIn Radio, all of that stuff.
Any of those random apps that people have for like fucking Android things that are pod catchers of some description that just take podcasts from the other sources. We're on all
Android,
of them. Search us.
You're very weird.
Bless them. Has your phone blown up yet? Samsung users.
But join us on the Facebook if you want to join us on the social. Facebook, Twitter. You can email us at Nick Tyson.
NickTysonVideotape@gmail.com. No, I fucked that. Nick Tyson Videotape @gmail.com. We were planning on doing a mailbag today, but we're going to put that onto next week. We're going to do an extra mega special, extra big mailbag because we've already gone way too long today, and we don't want to keep you.
Sorry, we're sorry.
We want to give special care to the letters that we receive. We don't want to rush through them, and we got an excellent letter this week, and I'm going to roll that over to next week's, and that's also going to go with another letter that we got a couple of weeks ago. We're going to combine them into an epic mailbag next week.
So if you want to join, if you're listening to this and we haven't recorded yet, write to us and you can jump in on that mailbag session.
Jump in on the epic mailbag session. If you've got a question, if you want to just hear us talk about a particular topic.
Did we miss something on speed that you liked?
I think we missed a lot on speed because we smashed our way through that. So
we really did.
Tell us your favorite part of speed, anything like that. That'd be awesome to hear from you all.
From us? Next week.
Give us a pop quiz.
Give us a pop quiz, hot shot. Pop quiz, hot shot.
We are hot shots.
We are hot shots.
Next week.
Next week, Tyson.
Nick.
It's your pick, buddy.
Well, okay, so this is interesting because if you had asked me which film director we would have ended up knocking out 2 films by before any others.
Before episode 50.
Well, way before episode 50. We're at episode 27. I can't believe we're at episode fucking 27. This is ridiculous. We're actually doing this, Nick.
It's funny.
We're actually looking at a film. We've already done one film by this director, but it's a cheat because it was part of our superhero
one.
segment. So we're looking at Edward Scissorhands,
By
the
Tim
second
Burton.
film from Tim Burton that we're going to be talking about.
This is going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one.
This is
There's
close to
talk around that
a lot
film.
of people's
Close to a
hearts.
lot of people's hearts, and I have experienced this film in various forms as well. So I'll elaborate.
Oh,
that
I can't wait for that
next
talk.
week.
Awesome.
But yeah, get on it, give it a watch, and then tune in next week. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Bye, Tys.
See you, Nick. Have a good one, man.
You too, dude.
Bye.